kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
And welcome back. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. As we are about a half a lap into this 200 lap race. I recall Hulse is in the lead there in that number 29 car. Austin Smith is in second position right now in the early stages of this race. .200 laps, and they are going to be slicing and dicing here. Michael Smith in that number 45 car as we are on lap number 2. And we got something really special here that we're going to do here as we get ready to cross the line to come to lap number 3. Here as we come down the back straightaway. Corey Krell down 3 spots there in that number 20 Toyota from Midwest Motorsports. And a lot of these guys are going to be having a lot of different strategies as we, got the chance to talk to a couple of guys before the start of the race. But nonetheless, we are going to go silent for lap number 3 in honor of Dale Earnhardt Sr. All right. And we're back on lap number 4 of 200 laps here. As we're looking at Dennis Kane in that 4 car, who on the last restrictor plate race would have been Talladega. He had a good run going as he wheeled that car to a third place finish in the Talladega race there with Chicken Coop Racing. Jason Bottoms there and the number 57 Chevrolet there. As we're seeing a lot of pink paint schemes, this is in honor of Brandon Puffenbarger's mom, who is battling breast cancer. So well wishes and her and her thoughts and prayers are go out to her and her family. But meanwhile, we come back up front. We're watching Toy Corral there in the number 20 car still. As these guys are just riding the line, riding their P's and Q's.
Sorry about that quick crash as I'm showing lap 5, and these guys already single filed out pretty quickly. Thanks for doing that moment of silence. Got 200 laps here at Daytona with the Racers Elite Series. Just always phenomenal racing. And you know, we don't have the real event coming up today, so we've got this one for the day, and I'm awfully excited.
Yeah, John, for sure. And so far, everybody's managed their P's and Q's through lap 6 here. And again, I want to mention that, you know, I was so honored that I get to do this with you. And as we're going double, I'm going double duty this evening. So I got this and then a small break, and then you can catch me and Dave Regal over on SNN tonight as they did their speed weeks all week long. So that's gonna be pretty cool to see.
And so just it seems like single file is going to be the way to go for this. It's going to be a lot like this for the whole race. So what I think we can do for a lot of this event is we can talk about first of all, look at the overcast conditions, but we can talk about the season for the Racers Elite Series. We can talk about the Tuesday, the Wednesday, and the Thursday show because there's going to be a lot of time. These guys don't wreck very often. They do an outstanding job. They're going to bide their time. It's going to get hairy when green flag pit stops come around, but this gives us a great time to do a full overview on the seasons. And Alan, I know you're able to talk for both the Tuesday and Wednesday, the Truck and Xfinity series, and I've got a really good idea of what's going on with the Next Gen Cup series on Thursday. So that's going to give us a lot to talk about while people are here to enjoy this show instead of a different one.
Yeah. So John, speaking of the Tuesday show, I want to highlight Austin Smith, who when we go to Las Vegas, he essentially has to sign in. So he's got that truck series wrapped up, and that's the Tuesday night series that Mike Demoni and I are on the call for. Okay, and
Well, we've still got plenty of time to discuss that. I want to mention, Ira Kohlhaas out front. And what's interesting and really great about Daytona is everybody wants to win Daytona. But the problem is you've got to go through the gauntlet of the field because these super speedways are the great equalizer on the racing surface. Someone that struggles on mile-and-a-half tracks or maybe mile tracks and short tracks can find themselves mixing it up with the guys that are always up front. It's worth noting. Can find themselves mixing it up with the guys that are always up front. It's worth noting that a handful of guys have changed their position drastically since the start of this race already. And that being a great equalizer, everybody's involved at the start of the race. Everybody's involved at the start of the race. All 33 drivers that are here today can win the race, and that's just worth noting. And let's give a round of applause to Andrew Teft and the Racers Elite community for getting 33 drivers here for this event. 33 drivers on a Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, the same day as the Daytona 500. Fortunately, NASCAR did us a favor, and they let us know early that they were not going to be able to to host the event. And so that due to rain. So we're here now, and that's going to make this phenomenal. This makes it a great time for us to be here for this one.
Yeah, John, it sure does. And 30, 30 drivers on a Sunday morning, and and the real one got rained out. That's going to be ran at 4 Eastern, tomorrow afternoon. So a lot of whenever you guys are getting off work, you guys go home, probably miss like the first maybe stage of it, I would assume. But here in the Midwest, it starts at 4 p.m. So I'll be halfway home when it starts up.
Halfway home, not a. Well, I mean, I don't know what I'll be doing. I could be skiing. I could be. Who knows? I'm off tomorrow, thanks to President's Day. So I'm going to get the opportunity to enjoy this race, I believe, and I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a pretty good time, I think.
Yeah. So Austin's put there in the third. He's sitting P2 right now, and I was talking to a few drivers here, John, pre-race while they were practicing, and a lot of different strategies are going to come about this race. As some guys are to qualify and do not qualify. But I mean, here we are, the same song, same verse. Austin Smith finds himself up front, and we're gonna highlight a bunch of drivers today. And John, we got 200 laps. So I imagine we'll even get to talk to a few guys and get their perspective on the race too.
Yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to is getting the perspective of these drivers while they're on the race. And there will be some opportunities. There's going to be some cautions, but it might not be until much later in this event that those do start occurring, because this is just is this level of racing. These guys have raced with each other a lot. There's a couple guys that are different names that we haven't seen before. But in this instance, most of these guys are drivers that are familiar with each other. And because they're familiar with each other, they're going to be awfully respectful. I noticed that there were some pretty interesting racing rules for this event as we're looking further back to the end of the field right now. So we're on lap 13 at 200. Laps are ticking away rather quick. I've only been running for 10 minutes. So here's the thing about Daytona. A lot of times people dislike Daytona races because there's always a lot of chaos that occurs. And in this series, Daytona and Talladega always puts on excellent racing. These guys are ready, they're on the money, and they come prepared. It's not a soup sandwich, which you're used to, and we've all been a part of soup sandwich. Talladega, iRacing Speedway. In my case, I've been to the Monza Oval in NASCAR cars once upon a time in my iRacing career. And, it really makes for a good event. And 33 cars. I'm curious to know how many are going to be here at the end of it. You guys watching, thank you so much for being here and spending your time with us for, Daytona 500 Sunday. You're still getting a Daytona 500. It's just virtual with the Racers Elite guys. And unfortunately, that one's died out. But stick around. This is going to be a good one. We're going to be here for another couple hours for sure. But this is going to be a good one. So if you guys are watching this, do us a favor, share it out. Let's try to get these views up and see what kind of event we can make this.
Yeah, not only hit the like button, subscribe, and even hit the bell notifications. That way, every time SRM goes on air across the leagues that we cover here on iRacing, you will know ahead of time.
Something that I'm thinking about doing here is I'm thinking about doing a little thingamabob, just a little Easter egg here. We might do a live day, like an all-day live where we run our replays of some of our racing series, and iRacers Elite would be one of the series that would be at the forefront of that. And it might be like a Thursday or Friday where we don't have live broadcast. We might do an all-day live-long event where we'll be showing replays of our events. So that's just an Easter egg. If you're not listening right now, you probably won't hear about it again. But that is in the works, and I'm kind of excited to put that on out there. I think that'll be a really neat thing to add to our channel for our viewers.
Yeah, right now, John, we're on board with Andrew Tepp, who's running at 7th position, and you can see where his perspective is right there. you see had to bail out of the draft, and you might see drivers do that on occasion as we're riding on board with them, where they close on a car a little too quickly, and they might bail out so they don't run the car in front of them over.
Yeah, I mean, you've got plenty of time in a full-length race right here. Val, we're going to do something a little different. We haven't done this in a long, long time. But we're at Daytona. We've got 33 cars. What a push right here up front for Austin Smith and Ira Kohlhaas, doing an excellent job up front. But you and we're going to step away, and we're going to run trackside cameras, and we're going to turn the volume up for you guys, and y'all can enjoy the sound of these race cars. And Al and I will be right back, probably around lap 20. Live from Daytona, Florida for the Daytona 500 for this Racers Elite Cup Series memorial event this weekend. This is taking place of the Daytona 500 that is not going to be hosted today. Unfortunately, it was rained out, and that race will be back on tomorrow. So right now, instead, you've got this virtual iRacing event hosted by Racers Elite, broadcasted by Alan Bergen and myself, Jonathan Leach, for the Sim Racing Media crew. We regularly broadcast these guys Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Have a really great working relationship and are ecstatic to be here for this event. When they asked us if we could do this, I just felt like I had to make it happen. And I'm glad to be here, take time away from my Sunday, which is awesome to do for this right here, because this is going to be a fun race. For a while, as we're following the Kyle Frame 84 machine, it shows 39 time in the scoring, but he's got an 84 paint scheme on. But, once this race gets down to like lap 180, it's just going to be a ton of fun. We got to stick it out for now, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And and I know it's got to be kind of rough for some of the guys watching, because they want to come in and see tons and tons of action. And I expect to see this single file racing the whole time.
Yeah, and the other thing too, John, as I want to mention too, is you're gonna see essentially two groups start to form, like we normally do at super speedways that like Talladega and here at Daytona. You're gonna see two distinct groups form, and you're gonna see different strategies, as we're starting to see that now with Johnny Thunders there in the number 64 Mustang. And so I'm excited to see what these guys can do. And I did win the 2023 fixed Daytona 500 on the officials. So it takes a lot of time and patience to get around here and kind of wait these crashes out.
Well, if you can win a race, everybody can win a race, I imagine. I can't say that for experience. I haven't seen you drive ever since we've become pals.
I'm still trying to get you on dirt. So if I can do that in 2024, then we'll be all right. Nonetheless, as we're still watching Johnny Thunders in that second distinctive group there. And John, like I said at Talladega, every Daytona race I've called, this is a chess match at 190 miles an hour as we were watching these guys. And these guys, John, I did, I get to pull the rookie stripes off, the yellow stripe off the bumper from this year with the Racers Elite, and you know, there's a reason why that these guys are in this league. I mean, you could put these guys with any other league on the service, and they probably have a chance to win almost every night.
You know, something that I do find a little interesting, you got guys trying to test the waters earlier than I
So
expected.
right now we're watching Jason Bowden's there in that number 57 car as he's in that front pack, and right now they're still minding their p's and q's. We're not even a quarter through the race, and John Schoenbacher there's on his inside. So as John mentioned, these guys are going to mind their p's and q's for just a little bit. And then I'm going to say once we get past that 150 lap mark, that's when we're going to start getting real good. So super speedways, I love super speedway racing, but I also love short track racing too. So you know, as for me, I'm not as a drafter though. I'm not really. I don't like drafting, bump drafting in the corner, but I'll get a bumper down the straightaway or so.
You know, Alan, I wonder, this is a long race. Part of me thinks if we get enough people watching this event, part of me thinks that maybe we should do a giveaway or two. You
That's
know,
fine. I'm up
I,
for a giveaway.
I, I feel like I've got some stuff that we can give away. A couple things. I'm going to kind of hold that up to the viewers here, though. I want to see let's say, another 10, 15 people watching this race because the Daytona 500's out. Not on right now. So do us a favor, share it out, guys. We just put it on our Facebook page. I know we've got a bunch of followers there that wanted to watch the Daytona 500. Instead, their options is going to be limited. It's going to be this group of guys right here, the Racers Elite Cup Series. I'm thinking about maybe a shirt or two, maybe an SRM shirt. We've got a couple ones. We've got some that are making fun of 4Xs and Rex, as well as we've got others that are just simple SRM shirts. And maybe, I don't know, somebody that might want a shirt that says, now that's a 4X, or that's a black flag. We got those. So, if we get enough people in here, I might go ahead and might do a little bit of a raffle and see what's going on.
We're gonna blow out John Leach's prize closet, as it were,
My
a little
price
bit.
closet.
Send it out. Yeah, prize closet. Yeah.
So, you guys that are watching now, if you're driving, I'll take care of a driver who may not be able to text like Corey Crowell running in fourth. This guy doesn't care. He'll run at 195 miles per hour, pull his cell phone out and text and tell us what's going on. So I know that this guy right here, he'll respond. But drivers that are watching that can't text back, we got one of you. One of you guys is going to get a shirt or a hat. We'll do that. A shirt or a hat, going to be my choice. But
Dan Flippo says, hook us up.
yeah, one of you guys will get something. And then you guys out there watching this event, let us know you want to be a part of that possible, shirt or hat giveaway. And at some point later in the event, I might put up a couple pictures of options, but we got some stuff. We might as well make this a fun time. You can't watch the actual 500, but let's have a good time here. And the thing is these guys are so good that they're gonna run like this, single file, maybe a little double file in the back, testing the waters to see what they can do with their drafting partners. And we're going to be like this for another 2 hours. before the end of this race. The times that are going to get interesting is going to be the cautions. And I'm saying this from experience, Alan. We call these guys 3 times a week. We've done it for the last 10 weeks. They just don't wreck.
They don't. It's impossible. And it's not impossible for them to wreck, but at, at any rate, and the other thing too, John, is, these guys, even in the truck series, we think we got these guys figured out on pit strategy, and they do the exact opposite. I can't say much about the next gen series, which is this kind of like your sandbox right now.
Yeah, another shirt we have one that's safety rating farmer. It's actually kind of an adorable shirt. I'll get it on screen later. It's kind of a farmer. He's carrying some fruit and it just says safety rating farmer. Because, there's some of these guys on this service, I think I know one of them. Alan, is it you? Your I rating's like 500, but your safety rating's really high. It is you. It's you. So, yeah, you're a safety rating farmer. All you do is get out there, run in the back, and get your licenses up. That's what you do on the oval side.
Now I did park it. I did win Friday night though, and my very first open setup win.
Corey, look at this. Corey's chiming in. We're still in a line. See, I told you, folks. He's doing 192 miles per hour. He's right there in the number 20, 4th in line. Pulls out his phone and he's texting.
I can't do that. I'm not that talented.
Yeah, the Midwest Motorsports driver, Corey here. No, he'll have to do all my texting for me starting in 2 weeks on Thursdays. I don't know, because I'll be racing for this guy right here. I don't know if I can compete with him, but we'll let him do all my texting for me, and I'll worry about driving.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I want to give a shout out, to you, John. I want to take it back. I want to get a little sappy for a minute, but I actually was a part of one of your guys' live streams way back. About I mentioned it like it's like way back in the day, but it wasn't too long ago. And you guys were reviewing a video game. And I had the joke of the night.
Oh, wait, really?
And I won a t-shirt, yes.
Oh, I remember that. Oh, yeah. I remember that. Oh, man, that was back when, Tony Trapasso was still around. And
yes.
Oh, man, and he was just no filter that whole night, just saying whatever crazy thing that he could think of. And, God, that was a good time. How about that?
And then, I dabbled a little bit over in WSRL, and I'd be racing and have you guys up on the broadcast, and I'm like sitting there driving. I'm like, how do I get in on this, right? So then you guys floated it out there that you were looking for people to get in the booth with you guys, and I'm like, sign me up, right? So I reached out to John, and and it's been all open arms, and I've had the fortunate to meet a lot of great people here at SRM. Like Dave, which we hear on Wednesday night, and you and Frank, who, is going back to do Major League Baseball for the summer. So, and now and then Dave, can't mention St. Louis around Dave. It's the Phillies thing. But Frank did tell me last night that, Dave's going to be taking a trip out to San Diego, and poor Dave, he's going to be in a house full of Mets fans.
But we got some other funny shirts. The one I was talking about, the 4X shirt. That's a protest. So any of you guys, you wrecked me. I'm protesting you. If you race on the actual servers, you've heard somebody say that. All right, that's a protest. You wrecked me. And so we do have that shirt. A few of us have it. It's a fun shirt to wear when you're racing. It'd make a great shirt to wear on stream. But instead of talking about that, let's go through the line of drivers right here. Ira Kohlhaas has been leading for the most part of this race. Austin Smith hasn't really pressed him at all. So we're going to go ahead and go through the field. And some of these guys may have some information in their driver information box, and we can talk about that. So starting with Ira Kohlhaas, he's out of Woodlawn, Tennessee. Of course, this is a Daytona 500 here on the iRacing servers. So special shout out to iRacing for allowing us to put this event on. Austin Smith, Burlington, Wisconsin. He's a Midwest motorsports guy. He's very hyper competitive across the series here for Racers Elite. Running P3 is Michael Smith, another driver out of Burlington, Wisconsin. So yes, there is a relationship there. If you know what it is, you know what it is. I'm not going to put it out there. Boy Crowell, we've talked about the Texter out of Oak Harbor, Ohio. Driving the number 20 machine. Right now, it's does a phenomenal job. He really enjoys racing. It's in his blood, and he's another Midwest guy. Joshua Neal, Fort Wayne, Indiana, another guy kind of in the Midwest area. There's a lot of Midwest guys in the Racers Elite Series, and we still haven't come across somebody that I don't recognize just yet. Truth Hoke is out of Hickory, North Carolina. Now I got to get back to 6 to get out of the Midwest here. And Tyler Harrison. Now this is a driver I don't recognize, Alan. What about you?
I have not seen this driver in anything that we've covered anywhere.
Well, then, you know, all that I would tell him if I was Tyler Harrison after racing in this event, this is the group of guys that I want to race with. You got races on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I believe they're starting a Gen 6 series on Sundays. Which, man, the Gen 6 car, that was my bread and butter. That's what I was good at. I haven't quite figured out this next-gen car. And one reason to get back behind the wheel, Alan, is to be able to speak about it better. Tyler, this is the league for you.
Yeah.
Brandon,
and I think...
Go
ahead. So I think us drivers bring us active drivers, and I know there's a few here at SRM, and it brings a whole new perspective to the viewer about the racing, what we experience as drivers.
So sitting here at the first Ford of the field, number 65 driver, that's Brandon Zimmerman out of Gloucester. I'm not sure what that is. I'm also not really sure what roastedgems.com is, so I'm going to take just a moment here. I think I'm scared. Oh, it's a coffee store. Roasted Gems Coffee. I'm going to put that in the comments for you folks. So, Brandon Zimmerman, Roasted Gem Coffee. This stuff looks really good.
I don't drink coffee.
USA company. It says, shipped from the USA. Delight in your freedom with free shipping on all domestic orders, including Puerto Rico. Delight in your freedom. I like that. That's going in the chat. Somebody go buy some coffee from roastedgems.com. Put the link right in the YouTube chat. Let's go on back to Zach Lockett right here out of Vestal, New York. Another strong driver. He's a playoff car in the Next Gen Series. I'm not certain on the other two series. Driving the Goodwrench Service Plus 93 Chevrolet. Right behind him is number 9, John Schlombachler. Another Racers Elite driver out of Louisville, Kentucky. Driving a pretty nifty paint scheme. As the driver's coming down pit road right now, should have been paying attention. Oh, there's trouble. He got a car around. That's the number 5.
Whoa. Brandon Puffenbarger loops it around, and he keeps it going straight. And that's the other thing, too, John, is, these guys are going to have trouble getting on pit road, so you got to be super careful.
Now, this is my fault here. I was expecting I thought the fuel run, I had about 3 or 4 more laps. I was off. I was really off. That's why I wanted to go through stuff. But to look to the front, this is very reminiscent of the old COT, the Car of Tomorrow style racing. Although this isn't I don't know if this was by design for these two guys to be out here just by themselves. It's Truth Hope, Brandon Zimmerman, who we were just talking about. I expect them to come down pit road in a minute. How is Puffenbarger one of the first cars off pit road after looping it?
Maybe he took fuel. So
I'm showing 4 tires for all these guys. 15 seconds, 14 seconds. I give him credit. I wonder if I can see that happen again. He absolutely... I just said it. But he, coming down pit road right here. Oh, that's them leaving. I apologize here. I think the pit stop's gonna come through right
There you go.
here. I guess not. I'll get that. I'll get what happened for you in just a moment so we can see. Truth Hoax still out there. Brandon Zimmerman is coming down pit road. Looks like on his own right now. That's coming off of pit road on his own. That's tough luck. You know, doing this by yourself. You're gonna get freight trained by the rest of the field when they come around as they're starting to come by there. There's Austin Smith, Joshua Neal, and the 20 of Corey Corral. And that's tough luck for him. Here comes Matthew Jarrett and Lee Campbell. The 81 of Matthew Jarrett, and then the 14 machine of Lee Campbell. Those are two names that I don't reckon in. And look at that right there. Trouble on pit road. The 14
Whoa.
goes off the nose of the 81. That's new. I have not seen that before.
And that's going to bring out a caution.
Yeah, I thought that was a ghost situation where they could just drive right through them. And that did not happen. And the caution looks like it was on track.
Only in the pit box is it a ghost situation. Coming out of the pit box, entering or exiting the pit box, it is not a ghost situation.
Let's see this try to happen right here. I can't believe that. I still thought that was in the ghost area. That is a neat feature. That changes a lot of things. I'm a little surprised that there's a caution with that off the racing surface. But, you know, that's not my decision to make. Race Control does an excellent job. I believe that's Stately doing that. He's been doing this for a long time for these guys. And, you know, his decision making is very strong. That also brings up the last 5 laps of this race. iRacing controls the cautions.
Yep.
So it's that's going to really change things. We're gonna let these guys cycle through. I'm gonna try to figure out what happened to Brandon Puffenbarger so you can see that. Alan, I want you to go ahead and dial some people up in the waiting room so we can get some thoughts for how the first 44 laps of this Daytona 500 have gone.
You ask and you shall receive. Let's see.
I'm still looking right here, trying to scroll back and see what happened here.
We got our first contestant in the waiting room.
Go back a little further here. All right, so this looks to be when these guys are getting ready to come down pit road. They're coming down the back stretch. We're going to speed this up just a moment so we have time for interviews. The whole field, they come flying off pit road. Puffenbarger looks like he goes off the nose of the... Is that number 4 machine?
That's Dennis Kane there in the 4.
And so off the nose of the 4. And that's what happened right there. So, Alan, go ahead and dial up our first contestant. Let's see what this racing surface is doing and what these drivers are expecting. You guys watching the show, if you have something you want us to ask a driver, let us know. Let's make this very interactive today. Slightly different than what we usually do, but this is a long race. So let's make it interactive and see what we can come up with and get accomplished.
All right, John. So we have Zach Locke in the booth. Zach, this is Alan and John at the SRM booth. How you doing today?
Hey, man. How are you guys?
First off, good job on the Dale Earnhardt throwback.
Thank you. Yeah, 23 years ago today, so I had to break this out to honor the man. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will be on that level. But, you know, so we're 45 laps into this race. What's your perspective right now?
I think it was, you know, it was pretty, it was not that intense riding around in you know, single file for most of the race, but that's how it goes at Daytona. I think I did well in that first run, just trying to stick around that top 10 range. That's where I wanted to be. I didn't want to be leading any lines, but I also didn't want to be, you know, a straggler way in the back, losing the main draft. So, felt good about where I was. I just went back into the pits to get some more fuel and get 4 fresh Goodyears on. So looking forward to this next green flag run, but going to try to make my way back up to that top 10, top 5 range.
All right, and while we're in the caution, is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to today?
Shout out, my girlfriend Erica's watching. Shout out to her. Shout out to some of my friends. I sent the link to them to watch, and shout out to you guys for putting this on. Really appreciate you guys coming out here on a Sunday. I know we don't usually race on Sundays. And coming out here to broadcast this. Hopefully, it'll get a little bit more entertaining as we pick up some laps here. I know we're gonna try to get back to the front, the Back Row Motorsports crew, and yeah, just looking forward to making it through all this.
All right, Zach. Well, good luck, and we hope to be talking to you in Victory Lane.
Yeah, I hope to be talking to you guys there too. Would be a really special day.
All right, Zach Lockett with Back Row Motorsports. And, you know, John, I think we're going to talk to someone that we normally don't get to talk to, you know, on all the time. So we're going to bring up Ira Kohlhaas here in the booth.
What was that?
Ira, this is Alan and Sam in the SRM booth. How you doing today?
Pretty good, man. How's it going?
Man, so we're 46 laps in, our first caution. So what's it like out there right now? Getting a little hairy, or we set on dig, or?
It was, we were pretty much just riding around. I got a good shove from Austin on that start and was able to pull him by Corey. We pretty much just stayed right there. I knew I was going to have to pit a couple laps before them because I was out front using up more fuel. But, I mean, it's pretty calm right now. I don't know what happened there. The spotter said something happened on the in the tri-oval. But it's up front, it's been pretty calm.
So what's your strategy for the race? Are we gonna start falling back and then kind of let the race come to us, or are we gonna, you know, try to keep it out front?
We're gonna see what the race gives to us. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I'm lining up here. We're gonna see what the race gives to us. I'd prefer to be up front, but I got some teammates, and it's better to have friends here towards the end of it. So we'll see what this old Compass Cocktail Bar Chevy can do, and hopefully I'll be talking to you guys later.
All right, we'll get you back down to your team here.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, I believe you're a Back Row Motorsports driver too, aren't you?
The DEI driving extreme. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, good luck, buddy.
Yep.
Well, there you have it, John. And you know, it's about the same. They're like, well, we're staying in line, hoping that the race comes to us. Stay out of trouble. It's going to be what you're going to need for, you know, 500 miles and 200 laps.
No, I'm not too surprised with the information that we just got right there out of these guys. So we're getting ready to go back to green, lap 48 at 200. We did 43 laps. We got green flag caution, pit stops mixed in there. Everybody at this point has new fuel, new tires, and they're ready to go for about another 40 laps. Somewhere around lap 86, 87, we will be back down pit road for pit stops again, and I think that's when we'll see a little bit of chaos and things happen, or maybe the things will get interesting and we'll see some too wide racing, and everything's gonna happen, and we're gonna find out in just a second as this pace car is gonna turn down pit road. As Tony Trapasso would say, grandma, grab your popcorn, drivers, wipe the visor clean, singe down the safety belts, because we are back underway here at Daytona for the virtual 500 here for the Racers Elite Series and guest drivers as we're getting ready to rock into turn one in front of the viewers, fans, and drivers alike. Brandon Zimmerman is leading the way.
Andrew Tuff bringing up that inside line as John Schoenbachler finds himself in P3 as we come down the back straightaway. John, what a beautiful day here in the virtual iRacing Daytona, Florida, you know, Daytona Beach, Florida. And, you know, we got about 5 inches of snow on the ground here in the Midwest the other day. So kind of reminds me of that old 1979 year as we are under our second caution.
And we're going to see what caused the second caution of the night. You know, I guess cautions breed cautions. I'm showing a handful of drivers, maybe Brandon Honeycutt, Jeremy Carter, and a couple others. We're going to view up what our event scanner is putting on right here. Following Joshua Neal, that 82 machine that's blue and red on the high side right there. I don't see anything happening with these drivers. So let's check with Brad Hayes a little bit more towards the rear. Is that he went off the track? Perhaps he was avoiding whatever occurred. And I'm not showing anything for him. Let's get Jarrett Larder. Jarrett Larder in the number 2. Looks a little slow. Get some contact with the 84 into the wall. They're going to collect Dennis Kane, the 4. Sliding back up the track. 6, 7, 8 different cars involved. That's what it was right there. Kyle Frame, that 84 involved. Handful of others. That's going to be caution number 2. We're going to watch that one more time. We're going to see what Brandon Honeycutt, watch the driver number 13. We're going to see what he sees from his viewpoint. I think all that's going to happen above him. The full throttle is going to end up rear-ending a few guys. You see the 84 machine right there come up the track. It's 84 of Kyle Frame. And the field's going to come down pit road, it seems like. Everybody 13th on back, led down by Alex Teth for more fuel. Brandon Sanfilippo, Gregory Robinson, Robert Nosfinger Jr., and Brad Hayes. Alan, let's dial up some more drivers and see what their thoughts are here on lap 50 of 200.
Let's get Corey Krall in here as we have Corey Krall in the booth. Corey, this is Alan and John up in the SRM booth. How you doing today?
Good. How are you guys?
50 laps in, 200 laps, and you've already made the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I have.
How? I am uncoordinated as all get. How do you drive at 200 miles an hour and chime in on your YouTube chat?
Yeah, I will tell you, I'm not using my phone. I'm actually typing it on the keyboard. So,
okay, you're doing the
it usually
whole
takes
phone
me a
link.
couple laps to get a full sentence in, but it does get in.
Well, you'll do all my texting for me in a couple weeks, like I said.
That I will. I got you.
I've got a problem. I need my team leader to tell them I'm busy. Oh man, Corey. So what's going on out there on the track? Everything pretty calm out there. Or does the energy seem higher for you guys than it does for us?
Yeah, the initial restart, it gets kind of dicey. I think once everybody just kind of falls back into the groove, it's fine. We were just kind of riding around up in the front, not doing anything too crazy. I mean, we're way early in this race. I don't expect it to be that way near the end, but yeah, as long as we can stay up front here and stay with this lead pack, get as many of these Midwest guys up here as we can, and we'll make a push to this win.
All right, well, we're looking forward to it, and this is Daytona, so we may not talk to you again. The floor is yours. If there's anyone you want to mention, got a handful of people watching right now. Fair crowd with the actual 500 being canceled, so floor is yours.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody tuning in to watch this. You guys for broadcasting. Again, Racers Elite for throwing on this league, and then teammates at Midwest Motorsports. Are always pushing each other to be better and working with each other, so that's great.
All right, well, Corey, good luck to you. Maybe we'll be talking to you at the end of this race, or if something really crazy happens, we might be talking to you again.
Yeah, hopefully not too crazy where I'm out of the race, but hopefully at the end.
Sounds good. We'll see you.
Thanks.
All right, we'll get him back down to his teammates. All right, here we go. We are on getting ready for the restart here. As we are on lap 51 of 200 here. Andrew Tuft is in first place with Jason Bottom to his outside. As we are coming in turn number 3, also back straight away. And man, Andrew Tuft, he's out front. I'm almost scared. I'm almost scared that I'd want to interview him a little bit later on. as we get ready to come back to green, and the iRacing.com pace car is going to peel off and make that hard left turn onto pit road. Wait for it. Wait for it. And the energy with these guys is through the roof right now. Andrew Tuft on the button through the restart zone. And we are down and away, restarting lap number 52. Andrew takes the green flag and leads them down into turn number 1. Austin Smith to his inside there for 2. Right behind him, actually, in that number 23, 6 Sauer Chevrolet. Andrew Taft still command of this race as they come down the back straightaway, and you're watching that Midwest Motorsports team as these guys are battling inside, outside for the race right here. Truth Hook there in that number 59. You got Jeremy Carter there in that number 26 Toyota. Brandon Puffenbarger right there. He's up 14 spots. We are on lap number 53 right now. Brad Hayes throwing it back to the 1989 championship of Rusty Wallace there in that number 27 Kodiak team. Brad Hayes up 11 spots. Zach Lockett there in 12th position. Alex Tess moving up 12th there. These guys are putting in their feet so far. So good. Nope. A little bit of trouble. Nope. It looks like someone had a moment back there. That's right. Gregory Robinson there in the number 17 car.
Alan,
It's 17
you're never going to believe what just happened.
on our timing and scoring, but it's really the 48 car. No. What just happened?
My microphone has broken again. In the middle of the race. So folks, I apologize. My great broadcasting mic just decided that the Daytona 500 was too much work for it and it no longer works. So I'm on a different headset now. So sorry I was away for just a moment. But that being said, I think at around lap 100, right there you see it on screen, we're going to give out this shirt. The Straight Outta Rookies. So if you're interested in the Straight Outta Rookies shirt, let me know in the YouTube. And around lap 100, I'm going to figure out who we're going to give it to. Right now, I have no idea who we're going to give it to. So let us know. And someone's getting a Straight Outta Rookie shirt. Either somebody in the field or somebody watching the race. So thanks for being here for the Daytona 500. It's a little more little sunnier out there on that overcast Larry. Just saw that. You know, iRacing does such a great job at rendering. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that shirt up in the top right corner so that you can still view it a little bit. I'm going to leave it up there for the next 4 laps or so. If you want the Straight Outta Rookie shirt, say something, and you might win it. I have a bunch of these, by the way, or this type of shirt. It's a very comfortable fit, and it lasts a lot longer than I expected it to last. Makes a really fun work shirt or just kind of lounging around the house shirt. And only other iRacers are going to get it too, so that makes it entertaining. So anyway, back to the race. We got a breakaway up front, 6 cars, top 6 between Andrew Teft and John Schoenbachler. And you got to go about 3 seconds back to the rest of the field, led by Corey Corral and Truth Hoke, and a little bit of too wide playing is kind of coming into the mix here. You got the drivers, the driver 27, Brad Hayes up there, and showing the 17, but it's the 27. Zach Lockett is involved there, as well as the 46. So a handful of guys testing out that high side right now. I want to thank everybody for being here for the event. If you're just tuning in, we're on lap 58 of 200 here for this Racers Elite Daytona 500. It's taking the place of the actual 500 as it was rained out. So we're here for another 2 hours for the Racers Elite guys. We've only had 2 cautions. Great racing so far. A lot of great paint schemes. And looking forward to a good one. So a bunch of guys who just jumped in. We're giving away a straight out of rookies shirt. Look in the top right hand corner of the screen. I just expanded it. We're going to give this away on lap 100. So if you want it, let us know. And at some point in the next 40 laps, I'm going to try to put some names in a scrambler, and we're going to see who's going to get it. But I want to thank you all for being here, Alan.
Yes, for sure. I almost said the bad word. Anyways, this shirt, John, I think this shirt, use a randomizer, but next one, we got to make these guys work for it. Maybe do some trivia on the next giveaway there.
Some trivia. Well, you got to have a really good trivia question.
Look, you got to be paid attention. So if you're watching this race or any Daytona 500 for that matter, we're gonna play a game called "Were You Paying Attention?" So make sure you guys are paid attention. You never know.
Listen, Corey Crowell's working. He's texting and saying he wants a shirt, so we know he's working.
He's working.
He's currently driving 9th. I do like the positive reaction from a few of these people. It tells me that we should really be pushing that shirt a little bit more. Straight out of rookies. The old James Riles had something to do with that, and I wish he was still a part of the team, but he had to back away and take care of some other things. But that straight out of rookie shirt, it's kind of cool, and only other iRacers are going to get it. Coming back up to the front here, these guys have really taken off from the rest of the pack. They've got 6 seconds now, the top 6, and there's another car up there. Excuse me, I can't count. There are 6 machines up here, a little spread out, and you're another 4 seconds back to Brad Hayes, which is leading the second group of drivers, which is a much larger group. It's about, let's see here, it's about 15 cars until you get back to Sam Kohlhaas at the end of that group. And then Michael Smith is running all by himself in the 45 machine. Not really the place you want to be. And a little further from that even, you got another gaggle of cars with Tyler Harrison, Jarrett Larger, and drivers such as that. Those guys are a lap down, and those group of guys are up front with the second group of cars.
Yeah, Jarrett Larger there. He is paying homage to Austin Cindric there, and with that discount tires number 2 Ford Mustang. As right now we're watching Zach Lockett on your screen, and he's inside of Brandon Puffenbarger. And you got just a good group of guys as he is behind Noah Tansman there in that Case Construction number 56 Chevrolet. And John, I want to mention one thing. I know we don't cover a lot of dirt races on SRM, but I want to give a shout out to Robbie Pierce, the smooth operator out of Oakwood, Illinois, as he was able to pick up the Big Gator Nationals over at Volusia Speedway via rain out Saturday night. But congratulations to Bobby Pierce as he picked up the Big Gator National, the Big Gator Championship, as he looked to defend his World of Outlaw Case Construction Late Model Championship.
Nice. So here's a question, a slightly different topic. Those of you that are watching this and racing, that race short tracks, dirt, or ovals, what do you drive? Let us know. I'm curious. What do you know? I've wondered. I've thought about getting into some racing here in the Midwest. Something called bump and runs are very, very popular. Bump and runs, it's a race, but it's really a destruction derby. Have you ever heard of it, Alan?
No, but I have watched trailer races and figure eight races and figure eight trailer races, and
It's quite similar to that. Your car usually does not survive the bump and run. People buy like $1,000 cars. They weld extra metal into the bumper so they can take out other cars. And you do want to win the race, but some people they're just in it to destroy. And it's kind of entertaining, but it's just there's no art to it. You're driving around on mud and just destroying things. There's just no art to it. So regular, like actual short track racing, sort of near me at the Onaway Speedway. There's West Branch Speedway in northern Michigan. Where do you guys race? What do you race? What should I race if I want to start racing?
well, if
So-
I'm gonna get you to start racing, John, I'm gonna put you in a pro late model, which is a 604 dirt late model. They call them pro late models here, and they're UMP sanctioned race car. But normally, I spent the better part of 2 years in a UMP modified on the service, and I have started to dabble into the late models as I hope to make the pro qualifying series for the World Outlaw late models here on iRacing.
All right, see, now you're talking iRacing. I'm talking about emptying my bank account to
Oh well,
go race Friday nights under the lights or Saturday nights, local short track racing. So that's what I was looking for. What do you guys that drive local to you? What do you guys that are watching this? What do y'all race? What do you want to race? And what's it going to take for you to get to the next level? So let me know. I'm very curious. I'm going to talk about it as you bring it out. I got a bunch of people talking about the shirt. Somebody giving us some extra news. NASCAR is going to be, like we mentioned earlier, they're going to be calling the 500 tomorrow. So you get us today for the next hour and a half, 2 hours. You're going to be enjoying us. You got a lot of people that like that shirt. Some guys are giving away the size that they wear. Michael Smith, who I'm assuming is this Michael Smith right here. I think this is the guy. He's saying he's a 2X. He recently graduated rookies. So I would assume he's straight out of rookies, but do you think he's going to make a rookie move when these leaders catch him in just a second?
I don't think so. He's pretty conservative. He'll stay out of the way. As far as real race cars, Johnson Leach, my brother and I are putting together a Pro 4 car, which is a Hornet, essentially, and we'll be racing that at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 here in St. Louis, Missouri, which is 15 minutes away from my house.
Well, that seems interesting.
Yep.
All right.
Yes, please. You go out, you buy a car, like a little Dodge Neon or a Saturn, you weld cage it, you go racing.
Oh, yes, that's right. The four-banger class.
Yes.
And you know what's funny? My local track will not let me use a Honda. And I don't know if it's an unfair advantage, but I tell you what, get me a 90s Honda D-Series engine. Some of these guys know what I'm talking about. You can buy a D-Series engine super cheap, couple $100, and you can run that thing sky high RPM wise. You can rev that thing up to 9 or 10K. It isn't going to last for very long, but it might last a race or two. And they make a ton of power high revving. And so I'm assuming that's why they don't allow you to run Hondas. And we're talking four-banger front-wheel drive class. And normally what you see are cars like Cavaliers or Dodge Neons, which are indestructible for some reason. But it's a lot of Cavaliers, Dodge Neons. Every so often you see like a Ford Ranger. It's like, that's a Ford Ranger. But the Ford Rangers are awfully quick in those classes, but they're just a little bit too tall. I think they don't turn well in the banking in the corners. But let's get back to this event right here. Not much has happened in the last few laps. That's why we're a little bit off topic. Brad Hayes is still leading the second group. The gaggle's getting a little bit more interesting when you're back here near driver. It's like Brandon Puffenbarger, 13th, Noah Tansman. A couple of these guys are experimenting with that second lane. At some point in this race, you need to experiment with the second lane. And it's worth noting, Alan, that the cloud cover's changing. And something that iRacing has been working on is a changing racing surface. So it might change a little bit. I know this is Daytona, and it's not going to change that much, but it might be worth noting that the behavior could slightly change as the race goes on as far as the draft. Early in the race, the car may have responded a little differently than it will later, as the temperatures, I'm assuming, are going to start to come up as there's a little bit of sunlight peeking through.
Yeah, cloud cover, and you mentioned weather changes. The big news right now on the service is rain is on the way, and it's going to start out on the road courses and then the endurance series. But you know what I like about YouTube, John, is that when you're wrong, they will correct you.
Yeah, I was
And-
just reading that, and I have been corrected. I, Jonathan Leach, Sim Racing Media, stand corrected. I was wrong. I feel like that's worth the shirt right there, because I'm embarrassed, and I got called out. But, so we got 71 laps. We'll figure it out. Probably going to give one more away. But we'll see. Want to thank everybody for being here. Appreciate you guys. If you're interested in broadcasting or commentating and being a part of our team, which I'm going to be a spoiler, Alan, we do an annual team trip to Homestead. And last year, the cost to go was very, very low. It was very inexpensive for everybody to go because it's something that we do a lot here. We enjoy. We went to Homestead together, and we were there for the truck, Xfinity, and the Cup race. So if you're interested in commentating and being a part of a really great crew, go ahead and shoot our Facebook page a message. We'll get our Discord link over, and we'll get in touch with you. There's plenty of racing to go around, and I can tell you what, this league right here would love for us to be able to cover racing like nightly. And in order to do that, we need some awesome, more talent, great team members that we can teach, train, and really start to grow as a team here for the SRM crew. So back up front, Andrew Tepps now leading the way, Austin Smith, Brandon Zimmerman, Joshua Neal, Ira Kohlhaas, and Schoenbachler. And you got a couple other drivers in there also that aren't a part of the group. I see the 45 was right behind them. That's Michael Smith. When he got past, see, this is the Michael Smith that I was wrong about. When he got past, he was able to stay in the draft, and now he's kind of just hanging out with the leaders right here, which I think bodes well for him. He's the first car one lap down. Something might happen, and he'll be able to get his lap back, which would be advantageous for him for this race. So we're not quite to halfway. We're sort of closing in on pit stops, but we're not there just yet. We talked to some of these drivers, and they basically said what we expected them to say. You have to survive to be there to the end. There's a very large mix of different strategies, and you just don't really know which one, where you're going to fall. I don't remember who we were speaking to a few minutes ago that was talking about team strategy. It was Ira Kohlhaas. Team strategy. Teammates may want to stay in the back. You might want to go up front. You really want to work with your team because you don't want to be left out to dry. Your teammates, they will leave you out to dry, but they're much less likely to leave you out to dry until like the last 2 laps. And it depends. You might have some really loyal teammates that are cool with pushing you to the win. And I think we'll see something like that with the Midwest Motorsports group. Those guys are very, very strong team players. And some of these other guys, like Andrew Teft, he's an excellent team player. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins this race. He won at Talladega on Thursday, on the Thursday series not too long ago. So he's a very good super speedway racer, and he's showing that right now.
For sure. And we going back and talking about the different series across the Racers Elite. Austin Smith, right now after 15 races, going into Chicagoland, is leading the Xfinity points also right now, and Ronnie Norman is right on his tail. Ronnie Norman's really gonna need Austin Smith to have a bad night in Chicago. But last Wednesday night, we were at Auto Club, and John, that race in Auto Club, it went flag to flag, and Ronnie Norman just absolutely dominated that race.
Somebody asked, are there women commentators? The answer is yes. We have one. Her name is Emily. She hasn't been around in a while, but she does a pretty solid job. There are female commentators, and other broadcast teams have female commentators. So we'll definitely take a different perspective. If you're a female and you want to get involved, jump in. We'd love to have you. Different perspectives are great, and sometimes us boys, you know, guys, men, whatever you want to call us, we're a little bit annoying to listen to. So you know, there's always different options.
I concur. My wife is a saint. She's got to deal with me 24/7. So
I don't think she deals with you at all, because you're always dealing with this. Somebody needs to come here and get Alan out of the booth, because he doesn't want to leave the booth.
you know what? I think I'm gonna like just pack a bag and blow up mattress and just live there. You start getting my mail. Start sending my mail to the SRM booth.
You know, something that something that's I think would be kind of fun to do is, you know, our annual trip at the end of the year. See if we can get our leagues together to put a massive event together. Full race, full length event, whether it'll be a super speedway like either Michigan or maybe it'll be a homestead race. And what we'll do is we'll set up a live booth for the event, and we'll call it together, you know, on camera, virtually. And I think that would be a lot of fun. We'll have a couple guys for race control, a couple guys for production, and then our commentator team. And if we get a 40-car field, 43-car field at a major racing event, I think that would be a lot of fun, and that we could really have an awesome event. That'd probably be on a Wednesday evening or a Thursday evening, but I think it would be an absolute blast of a day. So maybe something that we could do, and that would be around the October time frame. So we're getting closer to lap 80. These guys were last on pit road between lap 40 and lap 49. They all came down on lap 40 the last time. So within 10 laps, we're going to have drivers come down pit road. And they're not down, they're not quite ready yet, but I'm not sure if we'll see people come early, come late. I don't think if they exhaust their fuel cells that they're going to be able to change to get one less stop than some other drivers here. So I'm not sure if that's really going to be the strategy for this race.
I don't think it is either, as we're watching Zach Lockett go around the racetrack there. I can concur with that lap 84, lap 80 through 89 marker there as the pit window, and they're very close to entering that pit window right now. And you might see, John, some of these guys even short pit, they might come in a little earlier, banking on a caution at the end of the race too, to have that one extra set. And then you might see guys with the strategy move of taking 2 tires, because tire wear here, as it explained to me earlier in the day, is you may run 1%. 1% is equal to 4% at a mile and a half, or 30% tire wear at a place like Bristol. So a lot of different strategies. The tires aren't going to fall off all that much.
Yeah, they're not going to fall off much, but it's worth mentioning on the restart, or if you're pushed, at the end of the race, if you say Austin Smith is on the back bumper of Andrew Teft up front right here, is that going to upset the balance of the car? And for some reason, we've noticed the older tires, it does upset them a little bit more. But it's not common for drivers to change a bunch of tires, and right now we have a mixed strategy in the field. I can see most of the drivers changed tires. A few of them only did singles.
Yeah, right now you mentioned the pit. Andrew Sanfilippo is on pit road taking his pit stop here at lap 81. As we're watching Andrew Tuft at the front of the field, and it's been the same characters in the front. As we got Dennis Kane. Remember back in Talladega, John, whenever you and Daniel and myself were on the call for that one, Dennis Kane, he had that strategy of he just wanted to be out of trouble and be really conservative.
And two drivers coming down pit road, Brandon Honeycutt, Kinsley Smith. I remember speaking to Kinsley Smith on the last super speedway, and his plan was to just stay in the back the entire race and be there at the end. More drivers coming down pit road, so you're seeing varying strategies. Andrew Teft comes down alone. I wonder if there was a miscommunication there. He usually has a lot of help, and he's coming down pit road alone. He could be left out on his own. Here comes the top 6, 7 cars. 6 cars, of course, Michael Smith involved with them. Maybe they'll be coming this time around. It's worth noting that, in my experience in the booth, the group that pits first on the super speedway usually comes out better because they're already up to speed and they're chasing the guys that are trying to get up to speed. And I feel like they're able to kind of jump in a little bit of a draft from the guys getting up to speed, and that helps the guys that are back on track up to speed already. So it's worth noting the first group that pits, I think, is going to be better for them. But it's hard to say for certainty. And you get back here to Alex Teft. He's leading the second group of cars, which is about 12 cars and a handful of lapped machines. And they're not coming down yet. But I think in the next 3 laps or so, these guys from the lead or that second group will be coming down.
Yeah, Austin Smith there, he's one of these guys across all 3 series that it's hard to beat right now. He's got the points lead in 2 of the 3 series, with the trucks and Xfinity series. And then he got buried in the next gen due to a work trip, which was out of his control. But he's one of those guys that once he's up front, he's out front, as they put Andrew Tufts a lap down there pretty handedly if he came out all by himself.
Yeah, I think that's kind of strange. He's got other cars coming. Jason Bottoms, Dennis Kane, Robert Nosfinger Jr. coming down pit road. So some guys on varying strategies. 1s and 2s and 3s I don't think are going to bring the rest of the field. Here's comes a couple. It's just one. Brandon Zimmerman bails off alone. What is going on? I don't understand. I've never seen this before, Alan.
Just when you think you got to figure it out, they do something totally different.
Yeah, I've never seen single cars peel off like that. That's new to me. I've been doing this for 4 years now. Gosh, that's a long time. Why have I been doing this for 4 years? Holy cow. Alan, it's your job. I'm retiring. But I can't. It's too much fun.
Right.
At some point, we just know these guys up front are going to come down with Austin Smith. They pitted last time around lap 44. They went 40 laps the first time around, and then they had the caution. They came down and picked up some fuel. Got some more right here. Here comes Austin Smith. Brings the rest of them. Ira Kohlhaas, Joshua Neal, Schoen Bachler. Looks like Kohlhaas wasn't quite ready for them. So that leads me to wonder, is this larger group led by Alex Teft coming down this time? And is anyone going to peel off? No, they are not. It's only going to be the top 4. And now I think this is an opportunity for this group led by Alex Teft. They might be, because it's such a larger group. I know I was mentioning how when you're two groups, the ones on track up to speed first, I think are more advantageous. This group is much larger. There's about 15 cars in this gaggle right here. The head of steam that they might have if they all manage to get down pit road together safely, as opposed to the top 6, Austin Smith, Kohlhaas, Neal, Schoenbachler, and Zimmerman, they might be a bit faster. But there's so many different variables that come into play as they're coming out of turn 4. Are they going to come down this time? The answer is no. Nobody's slowed down at all. Here comes Brandon Puffenbarger. We saw him spin earlier getting on pit road somewhere around, that was lap 40. It's just a lone car exiting. So we've already lapped up to 16th right now. Of course, the field has to cycle out, and we'll see what the lap situation actually looks like as your race leaders. Currently, Alex Teft followed closely behind by Corey Corral and Truth Hoke. And on the outside, I think I lost the car. There was a car on the outside out there. Oh, there it is. That might be Dennis Kane. That is Dennis Kane up there. I lied again. It's Jason Bottoms in the 57. As here comes the rest of the field. They're going to starburst all over the place up front. So far, everybody's getting down safely. I don't see any speeds that seem high. Alex Teft might have been a little fast. I don't know if pit road 65 or 55. I thought it was 55. I saw 62. 60? I saw around 62, 63 for a few drivers coming into pit road. We'll have to see if these guys get in clean and there's not a problem. Here's the guys that pitted first from the lead group: Austin Smith, Kohlhaas, Joshua Neal, and Schoenbachler. It's a group of 4 now. So they've lost somebody. Something must have happened. Oh, that's right. Andrew Teft pitted on his own. He is far behind those guys when they pitted together, and that's worth noting. So here's Austin Smith leading this group coming into turn number 3. Alex Teft and company leaving pit road now. So, and these guys they lost some ground, I feel like, right here. Because here's this group coming around. And Truth Hoke is the leader right now, it's worth mentioning. But here comes Austin Smith and company down the front stretch. The Alex Teft group coming onto the back stretch now. That's a big gap. They've got they're 14 seconds back now to the lead group. So that pitting earlier for the lead group did bode well. It did better for those guys, and they're staying grouped together here, and they're close together. Now these guys should be a little bit quicker if they were all together, but take a look at this. It's worth noting that the group that they went down with is not the same group anymore. It's only 5 cars. So now you have different pockets. You got to come further back to a group led by Noah Tansman, Dennis Kane, Brandon Sanfilippo, Brandon Honeycutt. These guys were with them. And when they came down pit road, somewhere along that mix, they separated. And now you've got multiple different pockets of action. Hensley Smith is all by his lonesome out here. That's not where he wanted to be. As you can see, the lead group right there behind him. He's hoping to not go a lap down, but
I think he can stay out front of that lead group, back up to the draft, or get in there with those guys and then hope a caution comes out real soon.
I think
we've only had 2 cautions.
He's going to get past here. He's so much slower. Those guys are doing 190 miles an hour. He's topped out at 180. They're going to come by him like a freight train. If he's lucky, he might be able to get the tail of the draft like we saw Michael Smith do earlier and stay with that group. But he still is going to need a caution to get some help. I've seen Corey Corral manage before to stay out front, hoping for a caution to come out, and he just got past, and this was at Talladega. He just got past the last second, and he was the first car in line, not the leader, but he was the first car in line that gave him his lap back. He was passed by the leader last second and ended up having to be the lucky dog. Truth Hoke's coming down pit road by himself now. He's into his pit box, no problem, from the lead, but he leaves on his own, and I just feel like that's rough. So we're going to be picking who in 5 laps is going to get that shirt. I'll throw it up one more time, straight out of rookies. There's going to be another opportunity. It'll be for your special somebody, because I know that there's a lot of wives and girlfriends that don't exactly like that you race, but they tolerate that you race. So we've got a shirt for that too. It's a little bit basic, but perhaps if you guys like it, we'll expand on the design a little bit. I need to get this one for my significant other, because this is what she does. She absolutely tolerates what I do. Nothing more than that. I know that's vastly different from your life. That she's not. She wants you to do this. She tells you to stay away. But let's get back to the race right here. Brandon Sanfilippo is in 16th, leading a group of cars. They're about 2 seconds behind. Or no, take that back. They're 3 seconds behind this group, where Gregory Robinson is the tail in right there. And then just in front of him, Chad Lancaster's in that group. Alex Teft is leading a group of cars in front of them. So I'm showing about 4 different packs. These guys, this is a good time, I think, that they want to try to group up and see if they can make up some ground on the leaders. Because I think it's going to be a 20-30 lap run, and it's going to take both groups. This group with Alex Teft, Brad Hayes, Corey Crowell, and a couple of these lapped cars. That 145 of Tyler Harrison is involved right here. And then you're going to get back to the Zach Lockett group, Jeremy Carter, Greg Robinson. And then you got to go further back, and here's a group led by Dennis Kane, San Filippo, Honeycutt, Noah Tansman, and Jason Bottoms. So those 3 groups, they're all about 2 seconds apart from each of them. But if they can get ahead of steam, and this group that's bigger, if they can get lined up, and they can catch up to Gregory Robinson, Zach Lockett, Jeremy Carter in this group, and stay in line, they're going to be very fast and ought to catch the group of Andrew Teft, Alex Teft, and Brad Hayes. It's kind of like a snowball. You know, Dave Ramsey always talks about the snowball effect. You start going downhill, you get more and more and picking up more snow, and it's getting faster and faster and faster. That's sort of what you can see here with these cars. Call it the snowball effect. As they catch other groups, the group overall will get faster, and they're going to need that because some of these guys are 23 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, and we're on lap 96, fastly approaching lap 97.
Another woman, another wife or girlfriend, Michelle Smith, just said, "We all just tolerate this hobby." She said it perfectly. We all just tolerate the hobby.
It's an expensive one too. I mean, some of these guys' setups, rig setups are, into the thousands of dollars, and with iRacing, getting rain, you're probably gonna see a good run of computers at the Micro Center.
A good run of computers at the Micro Center.
A good run of computers at the Micro Center. Yeah.
All right, so one more time. Here's the Straight Outta Rookie shirt. If you want Straight Outta Rookies, let us know when we get to lap 100. Austin, not Austin. See, all right, you called me Sam. I'm calling you Austin, Alan. So Alan and I are going to step away for a second, and we're going to talk about who we're going to give that shirt out to. I want to thank all the viewers for being here for this 500, as the actual 500 is not happening today, but this 500 is happening. We're going to step away, figure out who's going to get this one, and then we're going to have another one to give away for all the special ladies, and they can kind of make fun of their men for spending all their time doing this hobby. Which it's expensive, but it's so much more affordable than wrecking real cars.
I think my wife told me if I get a real car, I only get one. And if I wad it up, that's it.
Well, I mean, it may not be your fault. That's worth noticing. We're going to leave that shirt up there for a few more moments as we're on lap 99 here. This Dennis Kane group, they're still 4 seconds back from this group, but I'm showing that they're a little bit faster. They're about a mile per hour faster than the group led by Zach Lockett as we're approaching the halfway mark. Austin Smith, Ira Kohlhaas, these guys have been up front this whole race, and they've collected some more lapped cars, which is going to potentially increase the speed of this front group. And so this is the one concern that I have about playing it safe, is that you can get spread out when you don't mean to get spread out. And then you can put yourself in a situation where you may not get back to the front until 5 laps to go when cautions start to occur. So we're getting ready to complete lap 100. We're going to step away for a minute. We're going to use the standard SRM commercial, but shows a couple shirt options too, by the way, if you're interested in them. And Alan and I will be right back to call the second half of this event. folks, back with you at Daytona for the Daytona 500. The overcast layer seems to be starting to break away a little bit as the track and the racing surface is just a little bit brighter. Still a couple moments away from announcing the giveaway for that shirt right there in the corner, straight out of rookies. Alan's going to let us know in just a brief moment who the winner is going to be via randomizer. And these groups are still spread out. They haven't gotten any closer. We're bringing Alan back in. Alan, let us know. Coming to lap 108. We're not quite there yet. So within 20 seconds, I hope you're listening. And you have to comment I won or something after he says your name, because I'm kind of interested in that and see if you're in here. And then we'll tell you how you can claim your shirt. And Austin Smith and these guys are coming across the line right now. That's lap 108 that we are on, Alan, who is the winner of today's giveaway.
Well, John, the winner of the giveaway is Corey Corral from Midwest Motorsports.
Are you kidding? Did he actually win on the randomizer?
He won on the randomizer.
No way. How did... No. How did Corey win? We talk about this man too much.
The randomizer likes Midwest Motorsports.
Run it again. I'll take care of Corey myself later. Run it again.
All right, run it again.
Yes, my dog is blue. My dog is very blue now, Michael Smith Jr. I'm in here.
Jr.
No way.
Yep.
Michael Smith Jr. is our shirt winner straight out of rookies. Perfect. So, Michael Smith, what I would have you do is go on over to our Facebook page, shoot us a message, shirt size, address, all that good stuff. At the end of today's event, I will get that order put in for you, and you'll have it within a week or so. And that'll be great, and thanks for being here. But that leads us to our second giveaway. So, we're not done yet. Go ahead, Alan.
I have a shirt idea.
What?
Welcome to the bottom split.
Welcome to the bottom split. I know you're pretty used to hanging out down there.
That's why. Or that's bottom split racing. There you go.
All right. So we're still waiting to see the winner, Michael Smith Jr. Go ahead and shoot that message over. Are you excited for your shirt?
I'm excited for him.
Are you? Well, I know you were happy. You were so happy with your shirt. You joined the team.
My shirt has taken a beating over the years, though.
You know, I'm still looking at this Roasted Gems coffee that was on the driver's info. I think it was Tyler. Was it Tyler Harrison?
I believe so.
No, it was not Tyler Harrison.
It was Brandon Zimmerman.
That's right, Brandon Zimmerman. Hey, you know, I don't know. I don't know if they're actually a sponsor or him, or he just randomly has Roasted Gems in there, but the coffee looks pretty good. So anyhow, congratulations to our shirt winner, but we're not done. We're going to do one more because we have another 89 laps to go. I want to thank everybody for being here. There's a lot of you guys here, and we do appreciate you guys. But now, for all those special ladies out there that tolerate your man driving, take a look at that shirt. It's just simple. It's plain and simple. Maybe we'll pizzazz it up, but it's just the I tolerate it shirt. I don't know if you can see it well. It's an eye. There's a black eye in there. It shows up a little bit better in person, but it's the I tolerate it. It can come in a different color than white. And I think it's a funny shirt, and I think all of our partners deserve this shirt. And so when you're racing, then go put the I Tolerate shirt on. And that's to tell you, after you're done racing, you're mine, and we're not going to talk about racing anymore. So that's the I Tolerate shirt, and it's actually comes out pretty good. I got one of these ahead of time to test it out a while ago to make sure it was viable. And then we just never really put it on our website to make it available. But it comes out pretty good, and I think it's a pretty nifty shirt. So if you tolerate your man or son or family member who drives, or woman, let us know if you're interested in the I Tolerate It shirt. I do have another shirt if there is no interest in this one. But some awesome woman would get a kick out of this shirt, I think, Alan.
My wife tolerates a lot.
She just tolerates a lot of you.
She tolerates a lot of this.
Yeah.
She might have to go into this one.
I don't care. Shout across the side of the house, and you can put her in. I suppose. Alan, you work for me. Hush. She can get a shirt.
She can get a shirt.
Yeah, don't put her on the list. It's the people that are here, the folks that are watching their person here for this race. And you know, and really, I wanna shout out. I'm gonna put this smaller in the corner now. We're taking up the racing surface. I want to thank the drivers for being here. 33 drivers tonight, or this morning. I'm so used to calling night races, but 33 drivers today, February 18th, for this Racers Elite Daytona 500. These guys worked awfully hard to get these guys together, and we've only had a couple cautions. You know, we've been racing for an hour and 37 minutes. That is extremely fast to get 115 laps done. The first of 4 different racing groups here. You've got the top 4 with Austin Smith, Ira Kohlhaas, Joshua Neal, and John Schoenbachler. Each of these 4 drivers in the top 4, and of course there's a couple of lapped cars sprinkled in right here. These guys are very strong in the Next Gen series. Each of them were in the playoff hunt and are always someone that's mentioned week in and week out. The next group of guys, 18 seconds behind, is Andrew Teft, Alex Teft. The Tefts are very familiar racing with each other on super speedways. They do this a lot. Brad Hayes, Brandon Zimmerman, and Corey Crow. That's the next group of drivers right there. In that, they have a couple lapped cars. There's the 145 of Tyler Harrison. You got the 45 of Michael Smith in there, as well as I think there's one other, and I can't quite get an angle on it. And then 4 more seconds to the third racing group, led by Zach Lockett. It has Jeremy Carter, Gregory Robinson, Chad Lancaster involved. And then you got to go 2 more seconds to the next group, Alan, which you can go ahead and name those guys.
Yeah, so in that last group there, as John had mentioned there, as we see Dennis Kane there in the 4 car, Brandon Sanfilippo in the 12 car, Brandon Honeycutt in the 13 car there, Noah Tansman in the 56. Jason Bottoms there in the number 57, and then 59 of Truth Hope. And, you know, behind these guys, John, is
even further back.
Even further back is your points leader on Thursday night, Brandon Puffenbarger.
And it's worth mentioning, Brandon Puffenbarger, this group is 46 seconds off the lead. Kinsley Smith got lucky. He found some guys to run with back here. But they're 46 seconds off the lead. You know, that's a rough spot to be in. That group of guys, they're just a lap down. But they're not. It's a tough spot to be in. They're going to need some caution help to get back on the lead lap. And these are very strong drivers. Puffenbarger, Kinsley Smith. You know, those are guys that we're used to calling. And then we got some guys that we don't know about that are a part of that group right there. But it's just, you know, it's tough. And actually, let's go back here. We're getting a little confused. Puffenbarger and Kinsley Smith were lapped by the lead group. That's my mistake. I was a little bit confused. They're attached to that lead group. They're your first cars a lap down. And they're right there with those guys. So they're in a good spot if a caution comes out. The guys that are not in a good spot are these guys that are 26 seconds away from the rest of the field. And they're just not getting together enough to really pick up speed. They're running about the same speed as the top 4 guys, but the difference in the top 4 guys is, other than the gaggle you're seeing right now, or let's call them the top 6, is they're very good at running the double yellow line, running the fastest way around the track, and they're keeping their speed up. So in the absence of a caution, those guys may never catch them. It's worth mentioning.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, John. And I even said that word now. It took me 118 laps to say it. But anyways, I digress. Austin Smith, he's still handedly leading this race, and it's you don't want to get out to a huge lead because you'll have that pack just you know get you swallowed up in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, you can be caught, or yeah, that's the way to put it. You can be caught quickly if you're not together, but you can catch other cars quickly if you can get together, and that's the thing that's needed here. At this point, with 80 laps to go, I want to start creeping to at least be a part of the main group. And I just find it hard to believe that this group of Andrew Teft, Alex Teft, Brad Hayes, Zimmerman, Corey Crow, that lapped car. Now, it's worth mentioning these guys are catching that group now. But I just thought they would be there or a little bit faster. Well, this Zach Lockett group now, they're 2 seconds behind. And they're a touch slower in the corner, and now they're getting a little discombobulated. But they have the opportunity to catch this group. If that second group with Zach Lockett that you just saw on screen there, if they can catch this group with Corey Crow, Andrew Teft, Alex Teft, they have a shot at it. But they're going to have to be several miles per hour faster over the course of the rest of the race, and going to need some help in order to get there.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to mention too is I agree with you, John. We're 120 laps in, roughly 60 something laps to go. 61 laps to go, and the thing is, John, this is where you got to start making your moves. We're past halfway, so you got to kind of start thinking about getting up there towards that lead group, like you say, and then you know, as the Tough Brothers there, they're in front of Austin Smith right there. Tough Brothers there, they're leading that second group.
Well, what you want to be able to do is know what you can do. Is how far is my car going to take me? How much time do I need? As you got drivers coming down pit road, the Andrew Teft group, only a handful of them. It wasn't all of them, and that's what beats me. Is that whole group didn't go down together. So Andrew Teft, Alex Teft, Brad Hayes, Zimmerman, guys behind him. Now this might be those guys pitting in front trying to get together with this group of guys. Now, if you think you can get together with a different group of guys and be a little faster, it might be worth saying, all right, guys, I'm going to pit with this group. You guys pit with this group, and we're just going to see what happens. But I'm a little surprised that those guys didn't all go together, because if you're not catching them, you're not even in this race. So we just saw that group of drivers come down, last pitted around 85, and that was lap 124. So Austin Smith and company here up front might be getting ready to come down pit road in just a moment.
Yeah, nothing doing there, and you got like you said, these guys are probably going to come down pit road here very shortly, if not within the next couple laps or two. No one's making that hard left turn yet to come down pit road. And, John, we see people have the debacle of getting on and off pit road. It's worth mentioning, too, that these guys, they got to come from 180, 190 miles an hour all the way down to what you and I drive on the interstate in a hurry. And they got to do all that without, spinning out, flat spotting the tires. And I think a lot of these guys do a very good job of doing stuff like that. And you got to remember too, when you're racing on a super speedway, you're thinking about 3 different moves all at one time.
So thanks for the insight there. Kinsley Smith coming down pit road on his own. Those leaders still waiting on them. So the top 13 drivers have not pitted. And it's also worth noting there's 12 drivers on the lead lap now based on pit strategy. So some guys have picked correct, some guys have not picked so correct. And this is an important pit stop right here. I think this is going to kind of set the field for how we're going to see it. You're going to have the guys around you that you have around you, and then if you're going to make up this gap, you have to do it now. You're going to have to do it over the next 70 laps to be there at the end of the race. Of course, a caution changes everything, and we very well might have one. But this is the Racers Elite, guys. When you talk about a group of guys that really don't, as you got them coming down pit road, Austin Smith, Ira Kohlhaas, Schoenbachler. Oh, man, that's real close right there. Showing Austin Smith 65, 67, 70 miles an hour right now. That's awfully fast. That's worth noting. He was awfully fast for a second right there. But when you have these guys so far out, you have to go and catch them. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. And what I was trying to get to saying here is this group of guys, they actually pride themselves in not bringing out the caution. If there's a single car spin, no caution, awesome. That's something that these guys are extremely proud of. Austin Smith not speeding. None of these guys sped. Here they are. And this is what's worth noting. This is why these guys are up front. They all came down pit road together, and they are all leaving together. No one significantly far behind the other. I mean, a couple that are a bus length apart, you know, but they're within the draft, and they're going to stay together, and they're going to keep going. As you got guys passing them on the high side as they're rejoining the racing surface right here. That's the front group: Austin Smith, Howard Kohlhaas, Alex Teft, Andrew Teft. Current race leader now is Corey Corral, driving that 20 Toyota. He's behind a couple guys that are in danger of going down a lap. So you see that drivers like the 27, the 81, and that 10 right there are guys trying to stay in front and get some laps back. And if something happens in a timely fashion, they will. You got Kirby Wainscott's among them in the number 10 machine. And you have the 81, that's Matthew Jarrett. And then I'm not certain who the 27 is. I think that's an issue with timing. Corey. Oh, it is Brad Hayes. Thank you. So that's worth noting right there. And he's the first car, I believe, a lap down. Or no, that puts him a lap down, so he's trying to stay within one lap down instead of two. Now Jason Bottom's coming down pit road, locks the tires up, gets in under the speed limit, and I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, to your point about the speed limit there on pit road, there's a lot of times, John, where you can almost cheat some of the sectors on pit road, as there's not a timing and scoring loop on every line on the pit road. So there's some spots you can kind of go a little bit faster than others.
I think we might have a special guest today. I think Daniel Paulus is going to join us in the booth for just a few moments as a special guest for this racing event. He's on the way. He'll be here in just a few moments. He calls the Thursday Next Gen Series with me and has some really good insight. And he'll be joining us in the booth in just a few moments for a third perspective for this event. So,
yeah.
And then I'll give the show back to you. I've been stealing it. Remember when I said that this is fun and I can't get away from it? As we missed Corey Crowell and company come down pit road. But they're coming off now. Gregory Robinson, Zach Lockett, Lancaster, Carter, and Tansman. And I think a couple others. So now for the most part, the field is pitted aside from a couple stragglers. Brad Hayes still out there, hoping something's going to happen. Austin Smith and company pretty much back out to the lead. This group of Corey Crowell, they're losing time. They're going to end up losing a couple seconds on this cycle, I think. Here comes Truth Hoke. So, nice to see that some of you guys enjoy that shirt option that we have for you out there, the I Tolerate It shirt. I think it's worth maybe getting for a special somebody. So there's a handful of people that like it. There is an alternative, however, and I'm getting ready to put it on screen instead. Here's a great one. That's a Protest in the top right corner. If you're interested in That's a Protest shirt, let us know. Somebody in this race is going to get turned at the end, and they're going to scream, now that's a protest. And this is the shirt for them. This is something that we've all dealt with, or we've all been told we're going to be protested, and some of us have gotten a little hot and said, hey, we're going to protest you for cutting us off, turning us on the last corner of the last lap at the end of a race. This is one of my favorite shirts. It's a very comfortable shirt. You know, it's got the American flag on it as well. It's a protest, and it's got our SRM logo on the right sleeve. Pretty cool shirt, worth the giveaway. So we're going to give either one, that one away or I Tolerate It, both of which you can get if you like from our website. Just going to throw that out there. We're going to give one of those two shirts away unless you can somehow convince me to do both. But I think I'm only going to do one. But want to thank everybody if you're joining us right now. We're on lap 132 of 200. We've given away one shirt now in this Racers Elite Daytona 500. The Cup Daytona 500 has been postponed till tomorrow due to rain. So you get the SRM crew, myself, Alan Bergen, or myself, Jonathan Leach, with Alan Bergen. Now I'm calling myself Alan. And here in just a second, Daniel Paulus is going to be joining the booth with us. Yeah. And I'm definitely not you, Mr. Allen. I am absolutely only myself. But joining us in the booth now is Daniel Paulus. He'll be ready to speak to us in just a moment. I'm sure he's been watching this race. He thoroughly enjoys the Racers Elite Cup Series. Pit stops have cycled out, and it's worth noting that Joshua Neal is now the race leader, a part of that front group. Schoenbachler, Austin Smith, Ira Kohlhaas, and Alex Teff. Daniel, it's great to have you in the booth with us here for this Daytona 500 for the Racers Elite Series with special guests. They have numerous extra drivers here for this event. I hope you're having a great Sunday and you're excited to be here. What have you been seeing so far as you've watched this event?
Oh yeah, it's been a blast here, John and Alan. It's really fun hearing you guys call this race here today. And most of these drivers, they're doing excellent, just like I've seen every other week here in the Racers Elite Next Gen Series. And, you know, the thing is though, we have more drivers. We haven't seen them race week in, week out. And that's what's really exciting to see who's going to be working with who and just putting on a great performance overall. I did see the t-shirt thing, and I thought that was really amazing for us.
Well, maybe you can help us decide who's going to either win the That's a Protest shirt or who's going to give an I Tolerate It shirt to one of their special somebodies that allows them to race. It's worth noting that in the broadcast booth, a lot of the special ladies that are watching this right now, they probably do not hear their man ever say, thank you so much for letting me do this, but they say it regularly to us when they're in the top 3 or they're interviewed. So ladies, that your man or men, your woman that's racing, they do appreciate you letting them do this. They know, especially if you've got children and that the other's got to take care of your toddlers, who's trying to break into your sim racing room and jump in your significant other's lap and talk in your microphone and throw your microphone across the room or paint your dog. You know, they know how much you do for them so that they can do their hobby and hang out with their friends. And this is also hyper competitive. It is not a video game. Do not tell people this is a video game. These guys spend hours practicing and getting better at this. And these guys become your friends and your competitors and your rivals. And there's a lot of people that have real race car experience that drive on this service. So want to shout out to you guys for letting us all be, letting us men enjoy our little bit of childhood that we have as adults and enjoy this. So you guys go ahead and start jockeying for either the I Tolerate It shirt or the That's a Protest shirt, and invite your friends and see what we can do, how many more viewers we can get at the end of this one. Because I'm telling you, in the last 10 laps, gentlemen, this race is going to be amazing.
It is.
Where's the energy? Alan, where is your energy?
So amazing! It's gonna be so amazing here at Daytona.
Well,
you know,
here's the thing. I want to throw out a challenge right now, John. If we can get up to 43 views, I want you to. I'm going to send you I want to get you on a pro late. I want to get you on a dirt late model race on iRacing. So if we can get to 43 views, I want you to go up to. I want you to get to a dirt pro late model race.
Do you know how many That's a
I like
Protest
that.
shirts I'm going to have to give away if I'm in a dirt race?
Uh,
You know how
I
many
mean,
protests that I'm going to get?
It's fine. It's fine.
It's
we'll make
not
sure
fine.
it's fixed.
Green
We'll make
flag.
sure
Oh,
it's fixed.
it's all good
leeches
at the end.
around.
That's why I'm not gonna put you in a super late model. I'm gonna put you in a pro late model. They're way more tame. We'll even get you. Even if we find a open setup, I got set up. It'll be fine. You'll be all right.
Well, let's get to the race here. Stop
43
talking about
laps.
how I'm bad at driving in dirt. I'm not bad on these ovals, but dirt is. It's kind of like golf. I'm very bad at golf, but I love it. Yeah.
Anyways, Joshua Neal out
Nice,
front of
nice.
John Schoenbachler. John Schoenbachler, John Daniel, it's worth noting that he is up 19 positions. So he started 20th there at the start of this race. And I think he's one of those guys that opted not to qualify. So, good on John Schoenbachler.
He's got a lot of different strategies that we've seen in this event. You know, a couple guys that have stayed up front the whole race, other guys that have been in the back, and drivers that want to stay in the back, like Kinsley Smith, Michael Smith, Tyler Harrison. You know, it didn't work out. Another driver, Sam Kohlhaas, Kyle Frame, Lee Campbell, drivers that I believe we're talking about staying in the back for this race. They're out. They've been lapped. They're going to need multiple cautions to be back in this event. And so that's the thing. Super Speedway strategy is very difficult because the race just may not go the way you expect it. If there's a lot of cautions, running through the back is great. But if there's not a lot of cautions, it's tough. It's worth mentioning that there's now 3 distinct groups. Instead of like 5 or 6, you have the top 4. Joshua Neal, John Schoenbachler, Austin Smith, Ira Kohlhaas with lapped company. 20 seconds behind them. You have this group, Alex Teft, Andrew Teft, Braden Zimmerman, Corey Crowell, and a couple lapped cars. I do see the 15 of Kinsley Smith back there. 6 more seconds behind them, you get a much larger group of about 9 cars on the lead lap with a couple more lapped cars once again. You have Brad Hayes, Brandon Sanfilippo, Brandon Honeycutt, Gregory Robinson, Zach Lockett, Jeremy Carter, Jason Bottoms, Dennis Kane, and Lancaster. And then you got a group of a couple with a lapped car mixed in, Truth Hope, Tansman, and a lapped vehicle that I couldn't quite catch right there. So I do think that we're going to have one small group being the leaders, and then I think this group with Brad Hayes is eventually going to catch this Alex Teft, Andrew Teft group if they really form up. But at this point, we've got 3 different races for first. And it's kind of like the Rolex 24 Hours race because they're so far apart. It's almost like you're going to race to be first in line in your group if there isn't a caution to get this back together.
It's almost like a tale of 3 different stories, right? So I want to give you a little bit of perspective, right? As you know, we're 141 laps in. Now this is the point where you start to feel it through your legs. You know, these guys, yeah, we're doing a sim race, right? But the amount of focus that you got to have and the amount of lower body strength you got to have as you're working the gas, trying not to run people over, you start to feel it in your calf muscles and in your lower, in your lower body. So, and it's only been recently, John, since I started going back to the gym, using my gym membership. Finally,
That's how they get you.
Yeah. So you start to feel the cramps creeping up, and right now is where you really gotta dig deep and find that little bit extra to get to the end of this race. Because right now we got Ira Kohlhaas there in the 4th position. He is down 2 spots. He started 2nd, and it's been all Joshua Neal for a good while right now. as he has led, I want to say almost 10 laps now, 10, 15 laps. But nonetheless, you got Austin Smith running in P3 as he is, buying his time, almost stalking the top two guys. Corey Carell there in the number 20 Toyota. He is not having the day that he wanted to. He's down 13 positions in the other Midwest Motorsports car. As he is, as we were looking at John Schoenbacher up 19 positions, like I stated earlier.
All right, Daniel, I know you're here with us. At these super speedways,
Yes.
we had the pleasure of calling that really good one at Talladega, on Thursday a few weeks ago. What do you think it takes to... How do you be there at the end? And do you think we're going to have a caution that's going to shake this field back up and really put us 20 drivers together that give us the opportunity to have a huge one at the end, or a huge finish, I should say, not a huge wreck. But we're going to need a caution to get everybody back together, I think.
Yeah. Well, there's multiple things that come into play here. First off, you don't want to get any pit road penalties. You don't want to get any penalties at all, because that's going to cost you laps. And we mentioned that, there's a lot of these drivers that are a lap or 2 laps down, or multiple laps down, I should say. And that's a big hole you got to dig yourself out of. And you need a lot of cautions for that to happen. And so far, it's been running green. If we don't get no caution, this field's going to keep getting spread out. And I feel like, to be there at the end, you need to, once again, not have any pit road penalties, not laps down. You gotta know who's around you, who's your drafting partner, is your teammate behind you, is your teammate in front of you, do you guys want to push and stay in the same lane the whole time? And at the end, when it's coming down to the final laps, don't make a move until, I would say, earliest turn 2 going down the back straightaway on the white flag, or I would say turn 3 or 4 is where you're going to want to make a move, because let me tell you, I've seen drivers make so early moves to where the run just kills itself, and you're just falling back going nowhere, and you don't even get the result that you want. So, in my opinion, it's all up to the drivers right now. Hopefully, maybe a caution will come out. We get all these drivers back together, but we're just gonna have to wait and see how this race shakes out.
Right, and it's something for these drivers further in the back. The problem is they may not get a caution until 5 laps to go, 3 laps to go, and at that point, if you're 20th, 10th in line, I mean, you could still win the race. Yeah. But if you really want to have a good opportunity, you want to be more up front. Let's look right here.
Yeah.
This group of guys coming down the back. This is around the 10th, 11th, 12th place positions. They're experimenting with 2 lanes, and I, as a race car driver, I don't understand why. They've got to catch the group in front of us, and they're trying to cause a caution right there. That almost shook up the whole field. That is going to cause a caution.
Well, oh.
And
there it is.
That was odd. That's Sam Kohlhaas right there. And Truth Hoke.
It's like they hurt us. It's like they hurt us.
I mean, I'm kind of glad that there was a caution, but this is... I don't know. First of all, I don't know why they're side-by-side racing right now. And okay, you see him, that car gets a little bit out of whack. Does Kohlhaas just not know he's there? I guess he didn't know he was there.
I think he heard clear, John, to your point. As if you run that back, you'll see the 10 car kind of step out there. And he advanced his position. Now, there is an out-of-bounds rule here at Daytona and Talladega. So you cannot advance your position, or else you could be penalized. So I imagine that that he stepped out and come back on the racetrack. It's very slick, that transition from the apron to the racetrack. It's very slick, and it will upset the car like nobody's business. But I imagine that would be a penalty on Kirby Weinscott there in the number 10 car.
Yeah, we might get some information on that from race control. But what an interesting caution, and this changes everything. Which leads us back to Alan. You get more interviews.
All right.
So he's going to pull somebody in the booth here after these guys come down pit road. Everybody's going to pit. We have a chunk of people watching. Who do you want us to interview? Somebody needs to say this quick, because once pit stops are done, if we don't have an answer, we're going to pick for you. We don't want to talk to these guys as they're coming down pit road, because we don't want to be the reason somebody messes up their pit stop. So who do you guys want to hear from? Let us know. You have about 20 seconds. So giving the guys in the chat a couple moments to figure out who they want us to talk to, as the entire field on the lead lap coming down pit road, and a handful of guys that are laps down, they're staying out looking for the wave. They don't really have a choice. They got to hope that they can take the wave around and they can get another caution and get back on the lead lap. Alan, I'm not seeing any answers right now. So I think it's, actually let's have our special guest, Daniel Paulus, pick. No, I take that back. John Schoenbachler. Somebody has said interview John Schoenbachler.
Funny you used to say that,
Let's see.
because that's the next one we're bringing up.
Let's bring them in.
John Schoenbachler, you got Alan, Daniel, and John up here in the SRM booth. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, real good, man. How's it going for you all?
So
we're having a blast.
Yeah,
Me too.
That's all I can say. We're looking at your Sunoco 9 right now. It's a great paint scheme, and it's doing well up front today.
Yes, it is. I really didn't want to see that caution. I wanted to stay green, have a quick pit stop, and race it out with the four of us, but things change.
Yeah, so you got 50 laps to go. What's the strategy going forward?
Stay in this lead pack right here. If we break a free again, stay with them, and then that last lap, get out of the way. I'm try to go to the front.
And John, somebody mentioned you've only been on iRacing since November. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Wow, have you won a race yet?
Not yet. Highest I've got is third place. Everybody in OG Racing, we're all brand new. We came from Heat, and we came straight over to iRacing.
All right. Well, cool. We'll be rooting for you. And since we're talking to you now, you know, this is Daytona. We may not talk to you again. So is there anyone you want to mention or thank while we're talking to you?
I just thank Andrew for putting this on, and the Elite Racing crew, everybody here, and you all. I appreciate everything.
All right. Well, good luck to you, John, and maybe we'll talk to you at the end. Maybe you'll get that first victory.
Sounds good.
All
right, we're
Alan.
going back down there.
So we're going to rack them back up. We're going to have 50 laps left. Really, it'll be like 48 laps left in this one here. We still have plenty of drivers on track. I think Sam Kohlhaas's engine just blew up. I heard it while we were interviewing Schoenbachler. Kirby Wainscott might be out as well. But we still have 31 drivers, or 30 drivers that are likely to be on the racing surface. The front row is Austin Smith, Joshua Neal. Row 2 is going to be John Schoenbachler, Ira Kohlhaas. Row 3, Brad Hayes, Alex Teft. Row 4, Brandon Honeycutt and San Filippo. And row 5 is going to be Jason Bottoms and Jeremy Carter. Gosh, you guys watching this, I know Tony Trapasso would be enjoying this event. He would just be loving this. You know, and some of you guys know who Tony Trapasso is. He's a big part of the SRM family. He's been broadcasting, doing iRacing stuff for a long time, and he abruptly passed away late last summer. And he's had really large shoes to fill for him, but he would be loving this event right now. And I tell you what, I am too. This is the best full-length race I have ever called.
Yeah, what, 3 cautions and 150 laps. I mean, as the HeyRacing.com pace car peels off the racetrack, Joshua Neal going to bring Austin Smith down to the green, through the restart zone, and we are taking off into turn number 1. Who's going to get the whole shot? Joshua Neal's going to get the whole shot. Austin Smith's going to fall right in line behind him. Ira Kohlhaas didn't stay in that line. John Schoenbachler going to take a shot at the outside, and he's going to try to bring Brad Hayes with him there in that number 27 car.
Yeah, so it's worth noting now that the field's together. Sorry to cut you off there, Daniel. I forgot you were here for a second.
No, you're fine.
But, you know, now the field's together, This is going to be very different. I think for the rest of this race, we're going to see double file racing. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. But I don't think these guys are going to get spread out like that again, which means we are really going to have an awesome finish. Go ahead, Daniel.
Well, I think it's going to be a great finish. Now that that caution came out, everybody's back together. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some 2, 3, maybe 4 wide action going on later in this race if we stay green and we're still pack racing here, not spread out again. But I mean, it's just the anticipation is going to keep ramping up. The anxiety is going to keep going up in these drivers. They're going to make aggressive moves, knowing that these laps are going to start winding down once again. And question is, do we see the big one later on when they are making those aggressive moves?
I want to go back here and talk about Truth Hoke. Do you think he said that's a protest?
Yes.
For what just happened a little bit ago?
You know how many people have said that's a protest to me in the oval side of things on iRacing? What the five? I got a 520 I rating right now, and I've been threatened to be protested a whole bunch. So yeah, Truth Hook said he probably said that's a protest.
And somebody's
sure.
going to say that at the end of this race. Maybe that's how we should decide how we give that shirt away at the end of this one. But there's some people that really do like that I Tolerate It shirt. There's a couple people in here. I saw that Frostine Brace and Erica Bell. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Sheila's Cochran said that they like that shirt. You know, a couple other people. Which one do we want to give away, guys? You guys gotta help us out. That's a protest. I tolerate it. So we've got 45 laps to go. A lot to still occur here. This race has gone by really fast. And if you're just joining us, this is the Daytona 500 on iRacing. The Racers Elite Series is putting this event on, as Austin Smith is really giving a great shove here to Joshua Neal. These guys are practicing how they're going to win this race later on. I just want to thank you guys for being here, a part of the SRM booth, for this epic showdown that was not canceled due to rain. A little further into the field, 2 wide racing all the way back now. Like I said, don't tell me I'm wrong. And there are no more different packs. Everybody's staying together, and I expect it to be like that for the rest of this race. When we had to pit on lap 149, that means we're going to need fuel one more time. Can you imagine, guys, pitting from this group of 30 cars?
Well, so here's
oh, sorry, Alan.
Here's the thing, though. So you want to set yourself for that 30 lap run. You're going to come in around one lap run, right around that 170 mark. Is, you know, so that 179 mark, and that's going to set you for that 30 lap run, or that 170 lap.
Caution is out. But why?
I think someone back here had
Unexpected.
a moment.
Robert Nosfinger, possibly. Maybe Truth Hoke. I'm not. There it is. Right there. The 57, the 89. Big contact for the 89. The 48's involved. Truth Hoke once again. The 57. Should I do it? That's a protest.
That's a protest. Now he's really going to protest somebody.
That's 2 in a row now for
Is
Truth
definitely
Hoke.
a protest.
All right, so that leads us back to this again, folks. Who do you want us to interview? Also, Erica Bell said that we should give away the I Tolerate It because girlfriend supporters need some gear. I think that's true. I think that is so true.
You know, we're going to let Daniel pick this time. And Corey Crow was interviewed earlier on in the race.
You're right. He'll definitely pick Corey.
Let's just see who we have here that we can interview really quick.
You can pick somebody that's not a part of the Racers Elite Series. You can pick someone from the back.
What about Kirby Wayne Scott?
Let's see if he's available. I think he's on
Let's
pit
bring
road.
him in.
No, he's not. Alan,
No,
please
he's
check
not.
and see if he's available. But let's not grab them until pit stops are complete, as the whole field comes down one more time, which I believe this means we can make it to the checkered under green.
Oh yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Everybody's pumped up. I know everybody's pumped up.
Where did that energy just come from?
I have no idea. I just I don't know. Pumped up.
Daniel, I need you to settle down. This is pit time. Bring that energy back for the restart. Also, we're hearing Brandon Sanfilippo is what someone says we should interview. And then our race control just said Taylor Swift killed the field, and I don't understand.
If you know, you know, right?
I don't understand. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and bring Brandon Sanfilippo in, and if we have time, we'll bring in Wayne Scott as well.
Here with Brandon Sanfilippo. I gotta find them real quick. These guys are spread out all over the place. Not north, not south. Oh, got him.
You know, breaking the fourth wall, you're not supposed to tell us every single click that you do.
Yeah. Anyways, Brandon Sanfilippo is Alan and Daniel and John up in the SRM booth. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you guys?
Good. So, we're 157 laps into the race, and so far that number 12 Chevy Camaro is looking pretty good out there. What's your strategy going forward?
Right now it's stay clean. I don't have a fast repair, so I'm going to try to stay on the inside just so I have an extra out in case there's any wrecks up front, which definitely anticipating that, especially when we get down to about 10. So just stay clean, stay up front, give yourself a shot at the end for sure.
Also, as we're working through pit stops, so is there anybody that you would like to thank today? Give a shout out. I know it's a bummer that the real life Daytona 500 got moved back a day.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I said the Daytona 500 in real life got. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out today too?
Oh yeah. I missed it last race. My sister-in-law Bernadette, she's always watching from New York, so shout out to her today.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of this one. We'll get you back down to your team.
All right, thanks, appreciate it.
I believe he is the back row too.
All
Okay.
right, so we're
Yeah.
definitely going to give away the I Tolerate It shirt. I've made my decision. It does come in different
All
colors.
right.
I don't have the colors that I can put on screen quickly, but I'm looking at a Heather Prism Lilac color that looks really good with it. So there's different
Nice.
colors. So whoever wins it, preferably a female, that's going to win this one, you can get some different color options. And we can get it sent out to you pretty quick. So right now, if you want to be entered into the drawing for the I Tolerate It shirt, say me, or please enter me for the I Tolerate It shirt. And if you're a guy, you can say, please enter me for my significant other. Let us know you want it. You have about 15 laps to do that. And around lap 175, we're going to randomize it, and we're going to see who wins.
Sounds good.
All right, Daniel, bring your energy back right now as the pace car comes down pit road.
All right, field going into the Geico restart zone. Green flags back in the air. Let's go racing at Daytona, boys.
Racing at Daytona, boys, indeed, as we got 40 laps remaining here for the 500. We waited 2 hours and 20 minutes for the pressure and stress level to heat up, but we are now here. The overcast layer hasn't gone away, but the stakes are now much higher as we're coming into the backstretch. The front four on the lower line have just the edge over the top group.
You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And right now, Austin Smith is showing his hand. I don't believe just yet, but quick route, he's got his Midwest Motorsports team ahead of him. Teammate there ahead of him. Joshua Neal in third. John Schoenbachler looking to keep that car up in the front.
All right, I got some information. Take a look at this car, gentlemen. If we can get a better look at it, that 89, I believe, has Taylor Swift on it. Can't really get a good.
Yeah.
I can't really get a good angle of it, but apparently Taylor Swift is on that 89 machine. So I guess that's what they meant, that Taylor killed the field.
I guess so.
Notfinger
Yeah, unfortunately,
is,
Robert Nossfinger was in the middle of it, and that's what brought out the caution. Perhaps we should enter him for the. That's a protest shirt.
I'm down. But he has some teardrops on his
Why
guitar.
not?
As he is
Did you
sitting on
just
the
take
road.
some of our lines?
I did.
Oh my gosh. Oh
Nice.
my gosh. Hey, one of you guys put Brandon in the wrong group, so please fix that. Taylor's letting us, Thomas is letting us know.
Which team is he on?
I
Or-
I don't know, man. Figure that out. Anyhow, back to racing right up here up front. Alex Teft, Austin Smith, Zach Lockett. So some guys that haven't been up here in a while are back to the front here. And as you've got 2-file, double-wide racing right here, not really room for 3-wide racing at Daytona. And you can see that the energy level is starting to kick up. As you got a lane change right there. I think that, who was that on the outside? That was Austin Smith making an aggressive move to the high side, and that's what you're going to start seeing. Is no more not risking it. People are going to jump up and start practicing to see how long it takes to go from 10th or 12th to the front. And we're going to start seeing some different names up there, like Noah Tansman, Jeremy Carter. We haven't talked about him today. Tyler Harrison, he was a lap down in that number 145 Toyota, and here he is now running 13th. So things are about to really start changing, and we're in for a good one. Want to thank you all for being here. If you're bored or your friends are bored, tell them to jump in on this. So
YouTube comes through once again.
So up front is Alex Teft, and for a while he was 20 seconds off the lead, but the caution changed that entire thing. Zach Lockett, a driver that we spoke to earlier, and that number 93, he's got the Dale Earnhardt style tribute, and he said how special it would be to win this race if he could. And he's trying to do the best that he can. In front of him is Alex Teft, and right behind him is Chad Lancaster in that patriotic Ford Mustang. So you got 2 Fords, 2 Chevys, and a Toyota in the top 5 right now.
Alex Teft finds himself up in the lead. That's where he wants to be at. Zach Lockett there, and that throwback to Dale Earnhardt is right there in second. Both of those guys, it's worth noting that both of those guys started deep in the field. Alex Teft started 24 spots. He's up 24 spots, and Zach Lockett is up 18th. But Chad Lancaster in that number 02 car, he's up 14 spots.
Alan, we're getting closer to that number that you were talking about.
We are.
All right, so I want to thank everyone for being here. If you're just joining us, this is the Daytona 500 hosted by the Racers Elite Iracing series. They run races Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. And if you're really interested in being a part of this racing series, which there's been only 4 cautions in this full-length Daytona 500 event, you can let us know on Facebook, or you can let us know in the YouTube chat, and I can drop information on the SRM Facebook page on how to get in touch. There's a big wiggle right there up front. Alex Teft getting a kind of an unfriendly shove right there, and he has to gather the car back up. That was almost this whole front pack right there, and they hung on to it, but that could have been huge. But if you're interested in joining this series, let us know, and we can drop some information. They're always looking for more drivers. Full fields, great racing, and pretty solid commentary, but the group of 3 of us right here in the booth and the rest of those on the SRM team. And again, they race Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Thursdays, and I believe now Sunday there will be a Gen 6 series. We just had a car drop. I don't know who that was, but I think Brandon Honeycutt is having some timing issues. He's dropped all the way to 24th. I'm showing 25th. He's still not back on screen. He might have just dropped off the race.
That's a tough break for Brandon Honeycutt. But that's going to put Kinsley Smith up to the lead with Noah Tansman right behind him Austin Smith there is.
Oh,
in
there he
the-
is. Now he's in the wall. Yeah, timing and scoring. We're going to lose Brandon Honeycutt. His internet is... Oh, man, his internet is gone. That's, yeah, like you said, a really tough break with 34 laps to go. He's sat this race out for 2 hours and 30 minutes, and he's no longer on track.
I hope he doesn't have Spectrum.
Gosh. Alan, I need you to do me a favor right now, so we have to decide soon. I need you to put the following people in the randomizer. Erica Bell, Chilas Cochrane, let's see, Frostine Brace, and we might have to open this up a little longer. That's only 3 people right there. So that's 3. So Erica Bell, Chilas Cochrane, Frostine Brace. I think Frostine Brace is looking for that's a protest shirt. Anyhow, Bobby Nosfinger is available. We can bring him into the booth for a second and get his perspective as this race is winding down. So looking to bring him in here in just a minute. We get a perspective from the Taylor Swift car. All right, now joining the booth is Robert Nosfinger, driver of the number 89, who was involved in that last caution. Robert, could you tell us kind of what happened? Was it just the air just getting real squirrely out there, and it just, one thing led to the other?
Yeah, that's basically what happened. I mean, basically there was a little bit of a bunch up. If you look back, I can't tell. I think it was like the 02 car or something like that. He had to check up a little bit, and then I was like off throttle. If you look at the telemetry data, I was basically off throttle trying to slow down. The air from the car behind me pushed me forward into the other guy, and that's just what happened. It's just Daytona.
Yeah, and we were expecting to see some things like that occur.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate you're on the bad side of that, but you were involved in the event that really brought this race back to life for the viewers. And we've got a lot of people here watching. And we only need one more person, and then Alan gets his win, and I'm supposed to go drive a dirt car. So,
well,
so that's worth mentioning. But there's
very
20...
unfortunate, though, that what happened.
Yeah, and so I guess I want to ask you one more question. If you were still out here racing, what would your keys be to success with less than 30 to go?
Stay towards the front. The people in the back, it gets a little bit wild. I was trying to work my way towards the front. I was actually, if you would have looked, I was the first car a lap down at that point. I had worked my way up from 2 laps down. And so I was the first car a lap down. I was trying to work my way to the front where the drivers are driving a little bit cleaner compared to the rest of the field. The guys in the back, it gets a little bit wobbly. So definitely stay towards the front and get ready to make them, and just be ready to make a move when you have to.
Understood. And again, we're not going to get to talk to you at the end of this one since you're out now, but you're a part of the super long race here that Racers Elite has put on. And overall, I think it's been an excellent show. Unfortunate for you as we've got pit stops possibly on the way. Is there anyone you'd like to mention or thank before you go, sir?
I mean, John, me and him, we're both part of OG Racing, where him and I were talking throughout the race, discussing strategies and everything else, and it's just I'm pulling for him hard time right now.
Well, he's up there in the 12th place position, for sure not out of it yet, but everything is starting to heat up. So tough break for you, sir. I hope you have a good rest of the evening. Or it's not the evening, it's still early afternoon.
1:30, yeah.
I'm so used to calling these at night.
I know. I'm so used to watching. I'm usually watching them because I usually have something going on, but I was able to hop on today, and you will start seeing me drive more full-time come the next season, though.
Well, we're looking forward to that. I hope you have enjoy your race, and we'll send you back over there to the OG Racing team, and perhaps you can help Schoenbachler win this race.
Yep.
All right, see ya.
Pleasure.
All right, folks, that's Robert Nosfinger. We got his side of the story of what brought out that last caution. And, it basically just said it's Daytona. There's nothing else around it.
Well, he's not the only one on Team Chaser. So. Taylor Swift did not come through for Robbie Nowsinger today.
So there's Maddie Son, I'm assuming her name's Madison, in the chat. I assume she might be interested in the I Tolerated shirt. So let's put John Sanfilippo and Madison on there as well for the I Tolerated shirt. And remember, it comes in different colors, folks. There is like a nice pink color that it looks pretty solid with. It's not perfect, but it looks pretty good, and I could probably change the colors on it to make it look a little bit better on the shirt. And there's a blue you can get, white, we can do it on black. We've got a couple different options, and if you're the winner, we can talk about that before we send that shirt to you. So, and that should be 5 people for the randomizer on that. I want to thank everybody for being here. It's we're 2 hours and 40 minutes into this race, and things are starting to wind down. And you know, surprisingly, we're a little bit single file again up front. And there's about a 2-second gap from 1st to 14th, and then the second group of cars led by Brandon Puffenbarger with Dennis Kane, Andrew Teff, Jason Bottoms, Gregory Robinson, and then some lapped cars. I'm going to say this group is expecting for another caution, and they want to see some other cars get torn up before they duke it out and risk other things happening. So there's the I Tolerated shirt one more time. We're going to blow it up real fast and get this in a pink color. I can change the wording color a little bit too. I think the pink is nice, maybe with some black lettering, or we can do it on black with white lettering. But it's a nice shirt, and we want to thank our significant others for letting us do this day in, day out for some people. Alan does this every day, you know, but we want to thank you guys. So we're going to put, I'm going to name the 5 off one more time. I got another one. You got Dustin Curley, Frostine Brace, Madison. You've got Lisa Marie, John Sanfilippo, Chilas Cochrane, and Erica Bell. If you'll make sure those people in the chat are put in there. Daniel, you got 24 laps coming. You got to skip the not so entertaining part and got to be the special guest for the end of it. So I sure hope you have something great to offer for us while Alan and I were just kind of aimlessly running around here.
Well, you know, I expected this race to spread out. I expected it to be in groups. I expected drivers to be aggressive and not aggressive. Drivers that are usually in the front usually go to the back. But you know, the style of drafting tracks, John, I don't know. It's something about the drafting style tracks that make them so much fun and unique for racing. And I think it's just that, you know, we're going faster than an intermediate track. We're seeing aggressive moves, big wrecks. I think that's what stands out here at these big plate tracks. But you know, these laps are winding down really quick right now. And with these laps winding down, I wouldn't be shocked if we see another caution.
Oh, we're definitely going to see another caution because these guys up front are going to want to win the race. Holy cow, guys. Kinsley Smith is leading. I didn't even see this happen. He was a lap down. I think he was 2 laps down at some point. He is now leading with 22 laps to go. Noah Tansman is there as well. So
wow.
Remember when I said there's drivers that we weren't going to notice? We're going to sneak back into this thing. Here's Kinsley Smith up to the front now. Chad Lancaster, another driver we haven't talked about. I don't think this is a Racers Elite regular, but after this event, he really should be a Racers Elite regular.
For sure.
Why not?
Metal. Yeah, Kinsley Smith he's one of those guys that you usually saying, where in the heck did he come from? But, I mean, to your point, John, he was laps down at the start of this thing, and I mean, he definitely needed some cautions to make his way back into this.
We're hearing right now that this is going to be really tight on fuel, whether or not these guys can finish this race. I don't expect fuel to really even play a factor, considering that this is Daytona, but this is the Racers Elite Series, and they very well could finish this without a caution. We've seen it happen before. And we're looking back here to this group, starting 15th, led by Brandon Puffenbarger. They have fallen back now to 5 seconds behind that top group. So they've pretty much made their bed. They're expecting more restarts. So Brandon Puffenbarger, Dennis Kane, Jason Bottoms, Gregory Robinson, Andrew Teft, who we know can win at super speedways, is in this group. He's hanging out back here, biding his time and waiting. And this might be a winning strategy. The problem is it's awfully difficult to come from 15th to 1st in 3 laps.
It is very difficult.
Not
But
impossible,
anyway,
but difficult.
John, you ready to give away a t-shirt?
Yeah, let's do it. Suspense, everybody. Suspense. Once we come to lap 18, we're going to see who's going to get the I Tolerate It t-shirt. And if any of you guys are interested in it, we'll put it on our website. I've got to overhaul the website very soon. So if you're following our Facebook page, please continue following it. We're going to send out a notification when it's fully updated and some of this stuff is on there. And we would really like our significant others to have these shirts. And we don't really make any money on these shirts either. Just want you to know that. That's just kind of for fun. And how we can get something out there. The protested shirt, the I Tolerate It shirt. If you're wearing an I Tolerate It shirt like that, or that's a protest at Walmart, another iRacer is going to know what that is. They're just going to know, and it's totally worth it. So we got a quarter of a lap away, and we are going to know who gets it.
Well, I mean, you know, the I Tolerate It shirt, that could be like, I tolerate my job. So, I mean, you go either way on that one. But yeah, you're right. The iRacers will know. And you know, speaking of tolerating things, you know how small world it is to meet other iRacers in real life. Is, you know, your neighbor 3 houses down could be an iRacer.
Now, I found out recently a program on the military installation that I work with. They take STEM kids and they work on building things with 3D printers. They learn science, some aerospace stuff. They have an iRacing setup and they let their kids drive it.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so there's kids driving the iRacing setup. It's pretty cool. So anyhow, we're coming to the line right here, and in just a second, Alan's going to give away a shirt. Line is crossed.
All right, and the shirt giveaway goes to Dustin Gurley, Gurlee. Dustin, send John all your info, and he will get you away on a shirt. Congratulations.
All right, congratulations, Dustin Curley. I hope your significant other is going to be extremely happy with that product. I'll try to do some more of these time to time. And you guys, thanks for being a part of it. Other ladies, I'm sorry y'all didn't win the shirt. But we'll make it available. So the shirt will be available as we got a caution out for trouble and everything's going to change. I think Noah Tansman. Oh man, I'm just not sure. Trying to come back on the track. Holy cow. What happened right there? Did he just not see him? We're gonna have to watch this from the viewpoint of Noah Tansman.
That is that racetrack awareness that we're always talking about.
You know, he very well could be watching that right side, trying to figure out when he can get in. He could be looking out the back of his car there. And I wasn't focused on the right person, my mistake. I was too concerned about who we were giving a shirt away to. So here he is. He's trying to get back on track, I think. Oh, look at that. He can't see him at that A-pillar in the way. He just didn't have any time. Wow, that's caution number 5. There'll be about 13 laps remaining. Who are we going to interview this time, folks? Who are we going to interview? We're going to leave it to the people and the fans.
Yeah, we'll leave it to the fans.
Got people rooting for Zach Lockett now. That's Erica Bell rooting for him.
Erica Bell's rooting. You know what? You know what
Yep.
Hayden is? He's about literally about to park on the apron. I think these guys. You gotta start to wonder, John. Are these guys thinking about maybe coming down pit road and getting a splash of fuel? Those guys who are somewhat close on fuel.
You know, I'm just. I couldn't say for sure. We'll know in a second who's going to come down pit road.
Yeah, we're not gonna interview these guys while they're trying to make pit stops.
I sure wish we could give away a ton of shirts. That would be really nice. That truly would be awesome if I could just give away a shirt to everybody.
That would be fun.
Anyhow, who are we going to interview? Ira Kohlhaas. I already think we spoke to Ira. Let's go talk to Austin Smith.
All right, are they coming down pit road?
Does not appear that way. We're going to run out of time. Let's go get Austin Smith.
All right, and we got Austin. Austin Smith, it's Alan, Sam, and John, or Daniel and John in the SRM booth. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you guys?
Well, we got 13 laps to go, and you find yourself running P9. Do you think you got enough time to get back up there in the front?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely think I got enough time. I got a couple of my teammates in front of me as well. So feeling good about it. Just trying to save a little bit of fuel here. I should be about 3 laps to the good, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how my teammates go, and then we'll try to make a run with them.
Yeah, so, 9 laps to go. And pretty much, this race, there's no points on the line. So did you approach this race a little bit differently than you would have, say, like on a Tuesday night or Wednesday night or even a Thursday night?
Yeah, I was just trying to stay out in front as much as I could. It seemed like that was the safest place. So this is a little unfamiliar territory to me here, being in the group, but we'll figure it out. Like I said, you got my teammates by me. We'll get up to the front here.
All right. And is there anybody that you would like to thank that helped get you to this point today?
Yeah, just thanks to my team and you guys for broadcasting, as always, and my family and my friends that are out there watching.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get you back down to your teammates, and we will see you later. I did that a little too quickly, but that's okay. Here, the lights are out on the iRacing.com pace car. And Daniel, this is your sandbox, and I'm glad that I get to be a part of it today, as I couldn't think of any group of guys better to call this race with as you guys.
I think it's been fun giving away some shirts.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah, it has.
These people wanted their shirts fast because they have already messaged us. They wanted their shirts rather quickly. So
I want my protest shirt. I need it. Like, no, you don't need it. You want it. I need it. I want it.
Daniel, we're going to get you the I Have a Messed Up Mic shirt. Oh, man. I can't believe my microphone broke in this race. I can't believe it, guys.
What did you do to your
all
microphone?
races. It's
I
just,
can tell you one thing that isn't broke right now, and that is Chad Lancaster's number 02 Ford, as he is getting ready to come down into the Geico restart zone. The iRacing.com pace car makes its way on the pit road. Chad Lancaster on the button. Ira Kohlhaas to his outside, and we are down and away to finish off the last 13 laps of this Daytona 500.
Well, we're winding down the laps. Drivers are knowing that their time is coming close here to the finish. Who will get the checkered flag? That is the question, because John Allen, you know as much as I know that it doesn't have to be somebody from the front. There could be a whole big wreck and somebody could sneak right through and get that win.
And you know what? It
Yeah.
all comes down to this. We've been calling this race for the last 3 hours, and everything you've done to this point really doesn't matter. Even if you're 15th right now, 20th right now, if you're on the lead lap, you can win this race. So now it's a whole new race with 20 laps to go. The point of the first 90% of this race is to get to this point and survive. And now when you're a little worn out, you're stressed out, this is when it's go time. So the guys that can handle the pressure with some insane amount of luck are going to be able to walk home and win this race. And now we're starting to see 3 wide, which gets extremely tight here at Daytona. As we're 12 laps to go, drivers like Jeremy Carter, who hasn't been up front all races there, getting pushed by Corey Crowell. Alex Teft is back up here. Andrew Teft. Remember, he was in that group with Brandon Puffenbarger further back? Now those guys are here. They were expecting another caution. They waited for it. In the matter of a couple laps, they went from 15th. Now they're in the top 7. And there's guys that are going to get up there quicker, or not quicker than others and slower than others. Austin Smith has fallen back a little bit, but I'm assuming there's going to be another caution here. So, last question, possibly. How many cautions are we going to have to the end of the race? We're going to have 1 more, 2 more, 3 more. What do you guys think? Let us know. Appreciate all the viewer participation in this event as Corey Crowell is going to go round right in front of the field. That's going to take everybody with him. Holy cow. I have never seen anything like that. That's a lot.
That's the broadcasting curse right.
Holy smokes.
That was literally a whole field. That's a protest.
Maybe that's the shirt Corey's going to get.
That's the
Oh my gosh. The whole field was pretty much involved in that wreck. That was I never seen anything like that.
It was from the lead. He was turned from the lead.
I would want to say it's probably a bad bump going into the corner, coming out of the corner maybe, as we watch it back here on the replay.
Trying to get a different angle at it. Oh no! It looks like Alex Teft kind of comes down a little bit. I think that was Alex Teft. I'm not certain if that was Alex Teft, and it catches him, and then it's just the rest of the field. Maybe it was Andrew Teft. Let's try to watch this again here from a different perspective. Let's go to this camera. I'd like a closer shot at this. Yeah, and just kind of clips him a little bit, and gosh, that's everybody starbursting, trying to avoid it. There's 15 cars right there.
Yeah, that's 15 cars involved in. Daniel, you said this is the perfect storm. The big one's gonna come. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And Daniel, we just saw it.
Yeah, we did just see it, and I don't know what was more perfect timing. Us saying on the next caution, if there would be a caution, then the caution does happen. That's a first for me. But I mean, now we're gonna get on a restart once again, closing laps. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if we see more cautions.
Trying to focus on the O2 of Lancaster there to see what he saw. I want to watch this through one more time through Kinsley Smith's cockpit. You can see it all happen in front of him up here. You don't have any time to see it.
No, it all happened.
There's the smoke. Still doing 180 miles an hour. Hard the brakes slamming. Well, he drove through Corey Crowell, like Corey wasn't even there. I'm sorry, this was Lee Campbell that I was following. But try Kinsley Smith right here from the high side and how he tries to avoid it. There's not much you can do right there. It's tough when it's the whole field like that. That one's tough. All right, it's time to pick somebody else to interview.
I think we're gonna get Ira Kohlhauser. Yeah, we were gonna interview him the last time. Okay, with DEI. Perfect. So we're gonna interview Ira Kohlhaus as we're kind of watching, and I think you're gonna come down pit road. So we're gonna bring Ira up to the booth. Ira, it's John, Daniel, and Alan up in the SRM booth. How are you doing today?
Better now that I got the fast repair done.
I believe that.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I couldn't see where anything was going, so.
Yeah, it was kind of like you're just along for the ride there in that number 29 Chevy Camaro.
Yeah, it was part of super speedway racing, I guess, when you can't see two cars in front of you and you're watching the mirror. When it gets dicey up front, you can only just hold onto the wheel and pray.
For sure. So now that you got that fast repair out of the way, we're down to an 8-lap shootout. What you gonna put her in full send and hope for the best, or what's the strategy?
We're gonna have to see how this restart goes, depending on what line goes and if I can jump to the high side. The high side's where I want to be personally, because you can make moves up there. On the bottom, you're just trapped. So maybe Puff can get a good start out here, or Alex. There'll be a little bit of a hole, and I can squeeze in up there and follow them to the front.
All right, quickly shout outs before we get back down to your team.
Yeah, definitely. Got to thank Randy and Jennifer Sellers, RJS Automotive, and got to thank my wife and my two daughters. I know they're in there watching, and my buddy Oscar and his makeshift bar that I got on the car. It's been up front. Hopefully, it's got a lot of airtime for him. So we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, good luck, and hopefully we'll talk to you here at the end.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Is it better?
It's going good now.
It's good now?
Good now.
Okay.
All right. We're down in the Geico restart zone. Jeremy Carter on the button, and we are back to green flag racing here at Daytona to finish this one out with about 7 laps to go. Tyler Harrison on the inside, right behind Jeremy Carter, who is up 14 positions, Daniel.
Yeah, these drivers now with 7 laps to go, these drivers are going to start making different moves, using different lines, looking for their teammates if they are in this race, or, possibly just be on their own and go up towards the front, because you're going to see those aggressive pushers try to make their way towards the front if they're already not in the front. But Alan, here's the thing, with coming to the line with 6 to go, I mean, if you were my teammate right now, Alan, you're in P1, I'm in P2, what do we do? Like, do I go to the outside, leave you on the inside, and I try to make a move, vice versa? Or, I mean, do you stay with your teammate? Because there's a situation on these super speedways where drivers are linked together as teammates, but then you really don't want to abandon your teammate, but yet you want to get the win. So do you stay and finish 1-2, or do you want to, abandon that teammate and hopefully get a win and he stays inside the top 5?
Well, as we're watching Brad Hayes there on the outside making a move, Daniel, I'm going to stay with you until the last lap, and then come down the back straightaway. It's all for one for all. As we have Jeremy Carter in the lead right now, Zach Lockett is third in this line right there, as he's trying to wheel that number 93 to victory lane. But that outside line is going to start coming to life real soon. As right behind Brad Hayes there in the number 27 car, we have, Jason Bottoms in that 57 car trying to push them as they go a little out of shape. They had an oh no moment there coming off of turn 2.
That inside line right now has that advantage over the outside. We're just going to have to wait and see when this outside is going to start getting more drivers make their way up towards the front, because Alan, once they get to that front, they're going to be side drafting each other like no tomorrow.
Yes, and this is a side drafting track as Jason Bottoms is all over Brad Hayes trying to get that outside line to get something going there. And right now, Brad Hayes is back up to about fourth position. Zach Lockett going to make a move to the outside line.
There it
And
is.
Brad Hayes gets turned. Brad Hayes gets turned. Coming into one.
Gregory Robinson involved. You know, Brad Hayes, Andrew Taft.
And that one might be the end of Robinson's day there.
– 20.
Ira Kohlhaas involved. Quick Krell involved. Not quite the big one that we saw, but there it is. It looks like, Jason Bottoms got a bad angle on that bump going into the turn.
Yeah, it's all, and back to what we were saying a few minutes ago, it all comes down to this. It's going to come down to this last couple laps. So that being said, look at this guy. Tyler Harrison is going to be out front. Jeremy Carter. So I think one of them is who we should talk to. But we're going to give these guys a couple moments to see who's going to come down pit road, who's not going to come down pit road. And let these guys gather up here before we have our shootout to the end of this.
And so Tyler Harris isn't going to come down pit road, so we'll go ahead and get a word in with Tyler Harrison. And Tyler Harrison, this is Alan and John and Daniel up in the SRM booth. How you doing?
Hey, good. About you guys?
Good. So, we got a 3-lap shootout here to the end. Right now you're sitting P2. What's going through your mind right there inside the race car?
Just how to avoid all the chaos that's about to ensue on this restart. Me and the 26 definitely worked pretty well together that last short run before the caution just came out. So we're just gonna see what we can do to work with him. It's always bad to be the leader, I feel like, on these types of starts, but we're just gonna see what we can do and hopefully come home with a podium here.
All right, as we're getting things back in order here, starting to get doubled up. So, is there anybody that we don't see around the Racers Elite series too much? So is this kind of like a feeler race that for you, or?
Oh yeah, so I'm just popping in here because Austin had asked me to join up on the league. I mean, I've heard this is a pretty competitive league, which it definitely is showing out to be. So I'm just making actually my first appearance here today. So to even be able to come home in the top 10 against this field, I think would definitely be a huge accomplishment itself. But hey, if we can make a few bucks and get a podium out of it, I'll definitely be happy about it. So, just happy for the opportunity. My schedule hasn't really lined up to be able to race with you guys here. So glad it's finally lined up, and especially for a big event like this. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, is there anybody that you would like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just shout out to my sponsor on the car, Mr. Detail, associate sponsors, Avon Studios, Cars and Wings, Recharge Rally. Shout out to you guys for putting on this broadcast here. And of course, shout out to, admins who extended the league invite. Just really happy to be here, and hopefully we can bring it home in one piece here.
All right. And then we're going to go ahead and get you back down to your team there.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Yep. And I believe.
Looks like we got time for another.
All right. And who are you thinking there, John?
Probably Jeremy Carter. So we've already spoken to Zach Lockett. I go with Jeremy Carter.
He's all yours.
Had to catch my breath. Jeremy Carter joining the booth here. You got Alan Bergen, Daniel Paulus, and myself, Jonathan. You're P1 right now, getting ready to go back to racing here with 3 laps to go for the Daytona 500. What are your thoughts? It seems like you and Tyler Harrison work pretty well together. How do you try to win this one?
Yeah, we're doing all right.
So
hang on. Oh yeah, sorry. Got the one to go, so got a little distracted there.
Yeah, no problem at all. I hope you're not going to lose those positions. It doesn't look like as you're getting up, all good to go. So you got a backstretch real quick, and we're going to fast forward in with you. How do you survive and try to win this race, and who do you want to mention before we let you go?
I really don't know because the outside lane can get a decent run, but it's all going to come down to who's behind me, which I think is Zach's behind me, and Zach's a good pusher, so I'm just gonna hope we don't get wrecked. I want to thank Andrew for putting this on, you guys for broadcasting, and my family for allowing me to race for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, all right. Well, good luck to you. Hopefully we'll be talking to you in a few minutes. And Alan, go ahead and send them on back, and we got to enjoy this chaos and fun that's about to ensue.
All right, Jonathan. Well, this is your, like I said, your sandbox. So if you'll do the honors to bring us back the green flag for this 3-lap shootout.
And so the field's coming through turn number 3 and turn number 4. I'm showing 19 drivers on the lead lap. Only a handful of drivers no longer on the field. If you were eating popcorn, it's time to put it up. And if you weren't standing, it's probably time to be standing in your mind because we're all watching this on television. As this iRacing pace car is getting ready to turn left down pit road, the drivers are going to grab that racing wheel and get ready to throttle up as Jeremy Carter and Tyler Harrison is going to lead the field back to the green flag with 2 laps to remain here at the Daytona 500 for the Racers Elite Series. Drivers are fanning out in the back as Jeremy Carter and Zach Lockett have a great restart into turn number 1.
Great restart indeed as Zach Lockett is handedly in second position as we got a 3-car breakaway with Tyler Harrison in tow. But don't look now. Brandon Puffenbarger is making it a 4-car battle, a 4-car breakaway as we get ready to come down to the white flag. So if the white flag falls and the caution comes out, that's the race. Jeremy Carter's got to make a half a lap, 2 more turns, and hope the caution doesn't fly to set up a green-white checkered.
We got a lot of juggling around happening right now.
Jeremy Carter's going to take the white flag. Whatever happens now, we'll seal the deal for Jeremy Carter as Zach Lockett. He's going to try and make a move coming into turn number 1. And John, Brandon Puffenbarger's going to the outside, and he's going to take Jarrett Lauder with him.
He kind of lost his help right there. And there's a car in the wall further in the back. But we're not going to worry too much about it. These guys are 3 wide down the backstretch. 145 in the 5. The 5 is sinking fast. Carter and Teft up front. Alex Teft now to the lead. Jeremy Carter spinning down the bottom. He's going to end up turning up the track and collecting cars behind him. Are they going to get to race back to the line?
They've taken the white flag. It's going to be Alex Teft and Tyler Harrison.
Harrison,
Here comes
Teft.
the move.
Harrison is going to win.
Harrison wins it.
Wow. Tyler Harrison in his first appearance with the Racers Elite Series, you just heard from him, invited by Austin Smith, is going to win his first event. He edges out Alex Teft by 5 thousandths of a second. 5 thousandths right there for Tyler Harrison. And you can see him kind of waving that car back and forth. He's awfully excited right there. Alex Teft can come up and give him a little nudge right there. Gosh, what some awesome racing from the front right there. What do you guys think that we're watching? There is a lot of you guys here right now. What do y'all think of that finish? Let's play that white flag back one more time. 46 more seconds here. There was a lot of passing that occurred on this white flag right here.
Let's just say there was a lot of action going on the white flag.
And so, so you have Jeremy Carter who's up front quite a bit. Zach Lockett's right there with him. And some of these guys finished awfully far back from where they started this lap. Jeremy Carter ends up finishing 16th. He was leading on the last lap. Zach Lockett was P2. He ends up finishing 7th. A lot happens right here in this final lap as they're coming in turn 1. That high side is trying to get a run together. A couple cars in the wall. Brandon Puffenbarger, who I thought had a really good opportunity. But what happens is here comes Alex Teft in that 43 with a huge push from Tyler Harrison, and they came back from 5 rows deep. So Tyler Harrison with a huge push is what got Teft in front of Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger dropped like a rock in the middle. Jeremy Carter gets underneath the yellow line, and that causes trouble for him. And then these two, the 2-car tandem, just kind of break away from the rest of the field. And then it's a 2-car race. Harrison can absolutely break out and take advantage, and that's your winner.
Yeah, that was an amazing finish. We're gonna watch Tyler Harrison burn it down. But I want to make mention too, John, that Michael Smith finishes 3rd.
Wow, where did he come from? That's an unexpected finish, I might add. Only a couple drivers still have their cars on screen here, so we'll just have to focus on this one, the blimp view here. But just 3 hours for a full Daytona 500. What a race, guys. The last lap didn't disappoint. The last few laps didn't disappoint. We had 28 drivers, I believe, finish this race. I'm going to double check that. No, 30. Yeah, 28. 28 drivers finished this race. And we had 33 contenders today for this event. What a story this was. And I would call this a massive success for the Racers Elite Daytona 500.
You're so right on that one, John. As we are going to start working on getting our podium up to the.
I want to say congratulations to our shirt winners. I thought of that on the fly. You guys have already messaged us, Dustin Curley and Michael Smith. So really happy that you guys were able to win some shirts for yourself or a significant other, or friends involved. Want to thank the family members that were here for the race for letting these drivers contend for this event. It was a highlight of their day, I'm sure. Right now, we'd all be preparing for the Daytona 500, but it's rained out, so we only got to do this one. But you can always tune in for more great racing for the Racers Elite Series Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursday evenings here on SRM. And I think this race is going to be one that we're going to have to replay sometime soon.
All right, John. Well, let's start with Michael Smith, our 3rd place finisher, and we'll let Daniel start with him.
Hello, Michael Smith. How are you doing? It's Daniel, Allen, and Jonathan in the SRM booth.
Hi, guys. I'm doing great.
Well, I know this whole race everybody's been looking forward to. What were your expectations going into this race? And I know that you got a podium finish, but what do you think you could have done to possibly get the race win?
First of all, I want to apologize to Jeremy for pinching him off. That was my bad. I did not expect to be up front. I just wanted to finish the race, but very happy for the 3rd place finish.
All right. And did you have anybody that you would like to thank?
All the guys at Midwest Motorsports, you guys for broadcasting, and Andrew for putting on such an awesome league.
And one more question, Michael, I forgot to ask you, but how was the draft out there today? How was your car in the draft, out of the draft? What were the other drivers like around you today?
In the draft, it was awesome. Out of the draft, I was super slow. I was out of the draft multiple times today. Fortunately, I was the first car lead lap down and got my lap back and made it through that last crash for the green-white checker, and got to thank my son Austin for giving me an awesome push.
Well, congratulations on getting a podium finish here. Maybe next year you'll get 2 more spots, even better, and win. But congratulations tonight.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Right. And I will talk to Alex Tuff. Alex Tuff, this is Alan and John and Daniel in the SRM booth. How's it going?
Not too bad.
put a P2 tonight or today. We're used to call it night races, and nonetheless, P2 today after 500 miles. That's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, no, starting that restart back in the 11th, I didn't really know how I was going to get back up there, but my goal was to just take someone 3 wide somehow, and managed to get my way to the top, and Tyler followed behind me and gave me a hell of a push.
Yeah, it seemed like you were in the right spots at the right time, but nonetheless, when I'm sure you and Andrew put this race together, did you ever think that you would get 33 drivers signed up for this?
Nah, I thought we would. Honestly, I was surprised we didn't fill it up. But yeah, no, it was a really good race. Everyone was pretty respectful. I think, geez, we probably had, what, a 100-lap green flag run at one point?
We sure did. So before we get you out of here, Alex, is there anybody that you'd like to think that helped get you here tonight?
Definitely want to thank everybody that came out today for this first annual JGT Memorial Daytona 500 race. Definitely want to give a shout out to Mrs. Puffenbarger, who's battling the breast cancer. Thank you guys for broadcasting this event, and then thanks to my girlfriend, my friends, and everybody that watches in every week.
All right. Well, we look forward to talking to you later on throughout the week, and have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
And we will give the race winner to John. All right, John, it's all yours.
Now talking with race winner Tyler Harrison on his first time with the series. We were talking to him a couple minutes ago, and you're like, if you could finish in the top 10, that would be great. And not only did you get a podium, not only did you win the race, you pushed Alex Tepp from like the 4th or 5th row back with a lap. And then
Yeah, that was
out of turn 4, there's no contest. It's Imano, and you came away victorious. It's just wow, man. Congratulations on the win. So are you going to race with the series now?
I hope my schedule can line up, man. I mean, this is such a awesome group to race with. I'll tell you, there was so much respect given on that last lap when we were splitting it 3 wide. I definitely thought I was going to wreck the entire field on the backstretch with the bump that the 45 gave me, and I somehow held it together and kept going, man. Just that entire last sequence was crazy. Just kicked it down to the low side, and then I tried side drafting the 93. That sucked the field back up, and I just did not get a good push into 3 coming to the white flag. And so at that point, I was just like, oh, that's it. Like, I'll try to salvage a top 10 if I can do it. And then all of a sudden, we just got a big head of steam, and there were like 2 opportunities that other cars could have just tried to throw a terrible block into the top lane, but they didn't. And I think that's really awesome to see, because if we're racing like an A-fixed race, like that's absolutely happening every single time that's gonna happen, right? But man, I'm in disbelief. I was you might be able to tell my voice is just a hair bit rasp. I was just screaming the entire going to the checkered flag with how crazy that was, man. But thank you guys so much for putting this on. Thank you for broadcasting it. That was awesome. pure plain and simple. That was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a fun race, and it was kind of long for the first 2.5 hours of it. But we had fun with the guys and everybody that was watching this. We had a lot of people, family, friends that were watching you guys, and we missed your burnout because we had to show that epic white flag again, and how you were able to push Alex Teff to just get up there and then stole it from him within the last 2,000 feet of the race. So we missed your burnout, but no big deal.
It's okay. It wasn't too much to see. I was trying to figure out how to do it. I was just shaking the whole time. I'm like, oh crap, I'm in second gear. So for the first half, you didn't miss too much, but it's all good, you guys. I mean, again, I'm just thankful to even been able to show up today, be able to race, and let alone be able to take home a win. I mean, it's phenomenal, man.
Cool. It's great to hear that. Great to see, and I'm sure everybody's rooting for you too. Tyler, once again, congratulations from everybody here at SRM and the Racers Elite group of guys and all the fans out there that can't say congrats. I hope you enjoy this one, and I guess you get to go relax because there's not any other racing going on today to watch.
Yeah. Right, we don't need to rush and go watch the Daytona 500 now that Florida's underwater, basically. But yeah, man, thanks again for you guys for putting this on. Just definitely a whole. I just have no words, dude. Like, I can't believe it. I SVG'd that as I was telling the other guy in the waiting room. I was just 1 for 1. So hopefully I could join you guys on Thursdays maybe and see if we could just keep the record going. But we'll see.
Join on Thursday. You'll be racing against me, so that'll be fun.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
All right. Congrats, man. We'll see you next time.
For sure. Thanks, you guys.
All right, Alan, Daniel. It was a long race. Of course, Daniel got to skip the long part of it, but it did not disappoint. You know, it was a blast. I couldn't, like you said, Alan, I can't think of a better team of guys to call this race with. You two guys have been a part of Racers Elite all season, and one more week for the last season that we did is the championship hunt that's going to come through, and then the following week we're going to start the season once again, and this is a massive success. I already told the SRM guys, not the SRM guys, the Racers Elite guys, I felt like this race was a massive success. I'm happy again that we were able to give out a couple shirts. I want to thank everybody that's still watching and that was here for their folks and their people. Just what a event, and I hope we can do more of these. Do some more non-season associated crown jewel style races, because this was a really good one, and I'm glad to be a part of it. So, Alan, give us your thoughts. Daniel, your thoughts, and then we'll go through the final results before we have to unfortunately wrap this one up at some point.
Well, John, like you said, the first half of the race was, typical super speedway. Get spread out, get 2 groups going. I had a lot of fun. This is the first leg of the 1,000 miles that I'm going to jabber about today. as I'm seriously going to start getting mail here at the SRM booth, but nonetheless, I had a blast. And maybe next year you might be maybe pushing John to the win. Who knows?
We'll
well,
see.
I mean, Alan, I know you had fun. John, I know you had a blast too. I had a blast. Wasn't here for the first half, but I was here for the middle portion, end of the race, and that's when it got a little bit crazy, I must say. We saw a lot of aggressive pushing going on, different drivers doing different things all around other drivers. We saw the big one happen actually twice. The big one that I thought was the worst wreck was the one on the back stretch where everybody was literally obliterated. There was like nobody left that made it through that wreck. But it was great racing all around. I know the championship is going to be this week coming up, and I'm very excited for that on Thursday to see who gets this championship under their belt. And I must say, I think Racers Elite is a very fun group to race, and we saw drivers that haven't really raced in Racers Elite before, but now that they have proven to other drivers that occasionally race in Racers Elite, now they know how they race. And could we potentially see some new faces coming into next season in Racers Elite that did this race today? That is something that we're going to have to keep a close eye on.
Yeah, just overall massive success. Again, I hope to do some more of this as we go on. But we're on the way to wrapping up this really fun event here. So all we can really do, is go through the results and talk a little bit about how the ending of this awesome Daytona 500 went. Tyler Harrison won this race, his one-off event. He hasn't been here before, but he manages to win it and be victorious. Alex Teff just edged. He was just edged out for the win. Michael Smith, where did he come from? He was a lap down at one point, running around the track all by himself. Is going to be your driver in P3, which I thought was phenomenal for him. 4th is Austin Smith, and 5th belongs to Ira Kohlhaas. Brandon Puffenbarger comes home P6. We thought he had a shot at the end, but he kind of sunk like a rock as he got stuck in the middle and fell back. Zach Lockett, we spoke to him, had a lot of people cheering him on, and sounds like he might need to go get an I Tolerate shirt for his special person. Joshua Neal finishes 8th. We saw him up front leading laps. 9th belongs to Brad Hayes. 10th is Brandon Sanfilippo, who had a lot of people rooting for him as well. Solid top 10. Go ahead, Alan.
All right. And finishing up 11th is Jason Bottoms there in a number 7 car. Matthew Jarrett is going to bring home P12. Dwayne McMahon was finished 19th spot from where he started. He started deep in the field as Andrew Tuff did not have the day that he wanted to. Got caught up in a few incidents, and he's going to bring home 14th. 15th is Quick Rel there in that number 20 for Midwest Motorsports. He led some laps early. The number 26 of Jeremy Carter will bring home 16th. 17th will be Kinsley Smith, who led some laps. Another notable driver leading lap was John Schollenbachler, Garrett Larder there in number 19. Johnny Thunder finishes 21st or 20th.
Continuing on 21st, it's going to be Sam Kohlhaas. Chad Lancaster is going to be finishing 22nd. 23rd belongs to Kirby Wainscott. Gregory Robinson, 24th. 25th is Truth Hoke. Lee Campbell, 26th. 27th, Noah Tansman. Dennis Kane ended up 28th. 29th is Honeycutt. Kyle Frame Zimmerman, Nosfinger Jr., and the final driver of the field, Marshall Harris. I'm not sure whatever happened with him. Remember, Brandon Honeycutt ended up dropping from the race, unfortunately. Well, folks, what an outstanding race and evening. Special shout out to all the viewers. We enjoy that you were here. For SRM, Daniel Hollis, Alan Bergen, my name's Jonathan Leach. We're going to sign off for the evening, and want to say special thanks to all of our family, friends that were here for this memorial race, and shout out to all of those that need to be in our prayers. So we'll talk to you again in a couple days for more SRM Racers Elite. We'll see you Tuesday. Remember, folks, don't play in traffic.